Very good.
Hello and welcome back to CrestVahllen D&D, the Argent Flame, soon to be something else, guys. I'm your not so humble dungeon master, TJ, and yes, we have decided on a new name for our companies, our stream, our whole tabletop thing with us and our friends. For those of you that have been following adamantly our social media, you may have seen a couple hints as to what the new name may be, but those of you who not, you guys are going to have to wait until the next session 2 weeks from now, and our next live stream. We will be formally announcing and dropping our new name, as well as some other ways that you can help support us and get the word out there. So stay tuned for that. Very exciting. Lots of things are happening. We have new logos and all this other cool stuff. So keep an eye out for that stuff. And don't forget to follow all of our social media. Great. So the Argent Flame. Great. Cool. I being the not so humble Dutch Master TJ, have the most distinct pleasure of having at the table Adam.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Zemdak Flintsweeper, the gnome artificer of the team, and I now have a workshop all the time.
Very exciting. Very exciting. You know, I had that in, we talked about this before in the Burnouts, but I had that in the campaign since you guys turned like level 2. I had written that in the campaign to level 2. It was always there. And then you guys started to talk about it, and I was like, I don't even know. Like, I have it. You just haven't found it yet. Great.
And then just pull it out.
And Demetrius.
Hi, my name is Demetrius, and I play the Dragonborn Paladin, Eleazar. In this world that I travel as a Dragonborn, my skin is my sin. But with the help of the warm blizzard, the Argent Flame will bring all true sin, evil, to an end.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Gave me chills. Love it. All right, follow that, Kevin.
Mr. Bard.
Yeah. I'm Kevin, and I play Cole Vodison, the human bard. And while Cole may be creative, I am not. So,
Yes, wonderful. And then, of course, Kenton.
I'm Kenton. I play Argus Firebeard, our Dwarf Cleric of the Light. And, guys, I'm having an emotion breakdown. All right. No one pay attention to me? Okay, fine.
Just burn it all down.
It's like breathe in, burn out.
Burn out. It's like that guy from The Office. He's like, you took my stapler, I'm going to burn the building down. Oh, my God.
that's honestly, that's just how I treat Argus. I always think that's him, just in general.
Except he doesn't need that much. He doesn't need that much aggravation or incentive. He'll just be like, oh,
We're supposed to burn that.
you're a minor inconvenience. I'll burn you to the ground.
Or here's some brush and grass on the ground as I'm walking through a forest. Let me just start you on fire.
That looks like good kindling. And, of course, the lovely Noelle.
I am Noelle. Today I'm playing Thresheni Ankmut, the Kenrin blade-singing wizard, and, I finally have some time to do some squirrel work. It's so great, guys. It's great.
Ah, yes, nerdy books and everything.
Yes.
So good.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I had bought a couple books lately that I'm very excited to get my teeth in during our camping trip. So.
Okay, cool. I'm very excited for you to do that so that I can glean that knowledge from you.
And last but not least, Cody.
I am Cody, and I play our Bugbear Warlock, Lahg. Log jamming. Remember, kids, never trust strange men who try to lure you into dark rooms just so they can try and put their ball in your mouth. Unless, of course, they're a priest. Then it's okay.
Oh my God. How is it that you do this every time?
It's your campaign, man.
It's like you nail it like it's like
Cody,
He's really on this
like
line.
the instant you leave here, don't you?
Oh my
I start
god.
thinking about, okay, what can I use?
Yeah, it's
If
like,
I've learned anything from the last week in game, it's worth digging through poop sometimes.
my god. Every time it's like you just ride this thin line of like between inappropriate and like joke, and you're like,
Occam's razor master.
yeah. Oh my god.
Honestly, I think you just described Lahg in a nutshell. Joke,
Well,
inappropriate.
I'm saying with
Razor thin
intellect,
line.
you know, it's kind of both.
as always, that's our sink or swim trial by fire, letting you know that this is not for kids.
Even though kids are mentioned.
Even though kids are, oh my god.
You make it sound so much worse than they are.
You know, just some warnings, you know, to let the future generation know that
We're
beware
all
of strange
character
men.
acting. Let's be very clear. We're character acting. These are
acting.
characters.
Yes, I'm not that emotional.
Great. Well, with that said, and greeting everybody to the table, y'all want to play some D&D?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do a recap of last session then, shall we? All right. Let's do it. Oh, not that one. Yeah, we'll do that one. Okay.
There's some magical item.
So, this is a long one, so bear with me.
I know what
All
you're
right.
talking about, but no, I don't. I have fun things to say about it too, because I wasn't here.
What's happening? Oh, there we go. That's why. Okay. So,
That sounds so much fun.
Well, I mean, if you want me to take notes, I kind of need to have all my writing utensils. I'm sitting there, I'm
be
seeing all
like a
set up,
box
and I
of
go,
writing utensils.
I don't have a fucking printer.
And then put it back.
Writing utensils anywhere in my hand.
Okay.
But no, like, you know, there's a lot of crazy things that could have been done.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Okay. Recap.
Just,
As the shimmering iridescent form of Moonchild becomes a welcome addition to the ever-growing ragtag group of individuals, information about the existence, nature, and origin of the mythical creatures known as dragons is discussed and developed, their history and fate inexorably intertwined with the innate power in the world that the party knows as magic. Ermgrim toys with the idea of having several keepers of the flame in one place, but the designation of the keeper of the white flame is shrouded in ambiguity. Moments later, Eleazar's demeanor steels into a cold, stern determination as he approaches Pernua, an icy anger in his eyes and stride. Seeking vengeance for the torture he endured by her hand, he raises his sword of dragonbone. The tenets of his oath ringing true in his mind as she submits to his reprisal. He stops short, however, realizing that she too is but a pawn in a tangled web of plans and manipulations. Helping her up from her knees, the Silver Dragonborn regards Pernua with greater understanding, before kneeling himself in prayer to his deity, heralding a cold and bitter wind that sweeps through the Firebeard homestead, blessing and rewarding Eleazar with greater power. Boots and Pinjack discuss the purse that was relieved from the slain Moonray of the late faction, and then the party heads to You Want It, comprised of George's 6 merchant stalls. Among the hexagon of stalls, the gang converse with George's various personalities and purchase a few potions of healing. The variable merchant attempts to sell Boots a pair of phantasmal boots, recognized to be those worn by the Dorcanon Rye, but he adamantly refuses, recommending that the monger get rid of the boots post-haste. The Argent Flame and company convenes outside the Golden Gate to discuss with the Saltpeter shippers. Eventually, Ermgrim reveals his Durgar identity, using the shock value to claim that he can get the caravan north faster if they take the worm tunnels through the Underdark. The shippers then concede and agree to wait until tomorrow morning to ship out. The gang then make their way to the Temple of Moradin, and among the rhythmic hammering on anvils surrounded by forges, find Highhammer Kalia Malmoon. The party petition her to restore Argus's health, and in exchange for the location of an abandoned Warforged workshop, an Organomech arm from said location, gold, and diamonds, she agrees. In thanks, she gifts the group with a glowing anvil that can be used to manifest a mobile workshop, and injects Argist with a syringe filled with the blood of the mountain, healing him of his affliction. Next, the gang head to the Temple of the Raven Queen, where it is thought best to leave Pernua and a few others outside. Amidst a funeral ritual is found High Priest Rupostidane, and in exchange for information about the undead incursion that had occurred in Biomass, as well as an amount of gold and diamonds, conducts a ritual of darkness, ameliorating Lagh's detrimental condition. The urge to defecate overcomes the bugbear turned wolf, and Boots examines the feces in an inquisitive manner. After reconvening, the Argent Flame gathers in the Sky Lounge to share information on what has happened since Eleazar was separated from the party. The group also discusses the possibility of creating a replica of the Lolth-like idol to aid in their endeavor of placing the correct person in power at Steercrag. Eleazar, Boots, and Argus head out to find magically enhanced equipment within the tiers, winding up at an establishment known as Manfred's Magical Mystical Wonders. After annoying the smarmy shopkeep Manny to nearly no end, several purchases are made, and a hasty exit ensues. Realizing that they may want to stock up on potions, the troop head to the cenote in the center of the market district, where Scuttlebug tells of a potion vendor of curious origin. Arriving in the shallows of the cenote, the gang are met by a Triton-like individual with fungal growths throughout their form, welcoming them in a monotone voice. Now, let's get back to the action. Welcome back to CrestVahllen. Yes.
Either too calm or too slow. It is.
Yeah, of course. I was close.
It was.
I did a good job.
You did a good job. I just loved your face at the end when you realized you had finished just like 30 seconds too fast.
It's always a thing.
Ain't nothing wrong with the pause.
Nothing wrong with a pregnant pause. Great. So you guys, be front of you. I believe it's only Boots, Eleazar, and Kenton that are here at the cenote.
You're there?
I'm always there.
Kenton is there too. You pick up this random villager named Kenton.
Kenton and Argus, so...
Because you guys went back to the Firebeard house.
Yeah, because
Yes.
we were all
Working on spells.
spells.
Yeah,
and
Lahg,
things.
Lahg. Actually, I think they're in the new one.
Got to get some.
Oh no. Okay.
Nothing's happening.
So right, the three of you
Reduce,
are up about.
reuse my cycle.
Reduce, reuse, my cycle is the name of this stall, and it is just a ramshackle, like wooden, covered in barnacles and coral and some starfish attached to the side stall, which must be like freshwater because it's a cenote, that are kind of like crawling up the edges of this wood that is mostly like wood and stone stall that just sits there in the shallows of cenote. Most of you are up to, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Eleazar, you are up to your knees in this shallow water. The other two of you are like, your waist and like other hip areas, respectively.
I'll be riding Conk.
Yes, you can be right. You can be on top of Conk, so Conk's just like wading in the water, and Argus is fully wet.
So your shoes are good.
Like it's almost hitting your hip bones, and you're kind of like wading into this water. And it's this very clear. When you look at a cenote, you can see like the pigmentation. Those like sulfur water pits that are sometimes in like Yellowstone or a couple other like primordial national park areas, or like those plains that have those warm water basins. And the reason why they have like yellows and blues and greens in them is because like the different gases or the different
Cyanobacteria.
Cyanobacteria. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Living off the fringe.
Yeah.
Living off of the different types of
Yes.
chemicals and gases inside. So it's kind of like that, except it doesn't smell like it's like that. It smells fresh water, and like as you're moving through it, it feels like fresh water. There might be small connotations of sulfurous bits to it, but that probably has to do with the fact of that this is a volcanic mountain ridge, and it is warm, probably from some geothermal activity. Yes, you have a question.
Thought that you had said it wasn't a volcanic mountain range or Teutonic or anything like that.
It's not. It's different.
No. The mountain range has throughout it the blood of the mountain, which is a magical type of magma.
There's no active volcano.
There's no like fully active volcanoes that you know of.
Well, and you mentioned the tectonic, and I went, our world, not your world.
Yeah, no, the tectonics. The tectonics, I believe I explained before, are kind of like it's the formation of the mountain range. You had, I believe, discerned before had nothing to do with tectonic shifting.
Yeah,
it something else happened.
Well, no, and that's what made me question that right there. But
Right.
again, I was thinking our world tectonics, not your world tectonics.
But nevertheless, coal is not there. So,
Quick question: is the rest of our entourage like your brother? Obviously, Moonchild's probably with
your brother
us,
hasn't
but-
left your side.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Like, you
Alright.
wouldn't have let your brother leave your side. So your brother's there with you as well.
But then everybody else.
I don't believe. I think. Are you with them?
yeah.
No, it's
No,
the
you're-
three of us who are back at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Moonchild stays with you unless you tell them otherwise.
Yeah, she'd be with me. Yeah.
Or yeah. I mean, they don't. They don't really have a gender, but yeah. So I mean, whatever. you wanna
Ermgrim
call her.
and Pernua probably also would have gone back with you guys.
Right. Just to keep a low club.
Yes, if you'd want them to, they can go back to the homestead.
Okay.
Yeah, because you guys are working on bookish things at the moment.
Unless Grim wants to come with us.
He's good. He's happy to be by a forge again. So.
Yeah.
No,
We can go back and
prison
start
have-
and get some work done.
So
not in prison.
So you wade into this water, and you can like kind of. There's at some point where the cenote has like a shelf, and it goes slowly, and then it kind of drops off into a much, much deeper area, and you can kind of peer over and see it because it's a rather large cenote, so it's easy to see. Even from where you are, like the farther deeper reaches, depths of it, and you just see a lot of it. It just shimmers with what looks like metallic, like a bunch of like almost like sequins and glitter scattered along any of the surfaces that are like flat, like gravitational flat or somewhat flat that could hold something along it, and you're kind of looking at it again, and like Argus, with your passive perception, you notice like, oh shoot, that's a bunch of coins, like a witching well, like there's like hundreds of thousands of like coppers and silver pieces at the bottom, at like or on like surfaces that could hold the weight of somebody like flipping a coin into the cenote. It's like a wishing cenote, and people have done it a lot, and so much so that the metallic substance of these things in the cenote has somewhat changed the chemical composition of the cenote itself, like through electrolysis and all that other nonsense, so much that like even the air that's around it kind of tastes a little like pennies. Not in like a bad way, not in a toxic way,
A little coppery tinge.
because you do see some other like aquatic race individuals swimming throughout here that don't appear to have any problem with it. Like whatever is not making this
Silver and
different.
gold don't oxidize, so they wouldn't be affected. However,
The copper
the
does.
copper does.
Yeah, so like it's like green in some places and some are more fresh, and you can still have a still have a shine on them. Which there's verdigris around the area, so like there are like veins of verdigris and everything. Yes, thank you for science people checking.
Which
it out.
would explain the cyanobacteria in there.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So
And it doesn't feed them. I'm like,
yeah.
no, but I like it.
It's quite a sight too. So like some of these copper pieces like are degrading and like having this verdigris and like different patterns. So it almost looks like this beautiful sprawling stained glass in some spots, just with like the way the verdigris just goes throughout. It's definitely a sight. It's something probably most of you haven't never seen before, and it's quite beautiful. But again, it doesn't appear to be affecting them. The difference is this is a freshwater cenote, but whatever chemicals, cyanobacteria, and metallics is having an effect doesn't appear to be toxic, and it appears to be marginal at best or at worst, because they seem the aquatic individuals here seem to be happy and comfortable. Anyway, before you stands about thigh high in the water behind the stall what looks like a Triton individual. And now I don't believe any of you have ever actually met who's from Thulmorbed? Both of you are from Thulmorbed. You may have, just because Thulmorbed is like a hub. Think of them like the New York City in the mountains. It just people from all over the continent come there, regardless of their race or origin. There's Durgar there. There's dark elves there. There's like Genasi there. There's like everybody from all walks of life. There's bugbears that have good quality of life there that are respected. And like think of these cities not dissimilar from the more urban a center is, the more like accepting it is of people from all walks of life, and all like races, colors, creeds, that whole thing, and all colored cultures, religions. Just because it's more of a melting pot, there's more exposure. The perception of it is different. Whereas like the farther away you get from those capital cities, into more rural areas, it like more stereotypes and preconceived notions start to affect the minds of those who live in those areas, if that makes sense. So like the reaction to Ermgrim here in Minheim, although this is an urban center, Tokrin owns it, and it's a lot of rich people live here, right? And rich people have often their own belief about how the way the world should work. And so when that is the prevailing theory in an area, that kind of trickles down to others. Whereas like if Ermgrim revealed himself in Thulmur Bed, people would be like,
Whatever.
that's weird, and then just go about their day. Like, why is he disguising himself? Like, granted, I mean, there's histories there, but it's more of like an archaic thing than it is a present thing. Granted, bugbear raids still happen, Durgar raids still happen, dark elf raids still happen, but it's the exception, not the rule. Cool. So before you stands this Triton individual. I believe the only ones that, well, actually, no, that's a very good question. Probably all three of you have seen a Triton before, because you're very well traveled and you spend quite a bit of time in Hilnsfarn as an urban bounty hunter, and you're quite very well traveled, especially if you spent any time near the Barrel Sea or Dartwater. Yeah, so you know what this is. This is a Triton. They usually don't find their fully aquatic individuals that look like kind of mermaid-esque, but they have legs, and between each of their toes and hands is a lot of webbing. Their face kind of splays out to have that kind of like spiny fin thing. But the thing you also know, and I'm just going to give this to you because you would know this because considering how well traveled all of you are, is that these are usually deep sea or deep water type creatures. They don't, or people, they usually aren't found as much in the shallows, and they prefer the cold or deep water. They're think like Aquaman style, just because their anatomy is just used to being under that immense pressure. But this one's here above the water in the shallow of the cenote, and you can see these like fungal masses growing out of like the side of their neck, almost like tumors, but they look almost conical, kind of like those conical coral that grow off of something, but it looks like fungus and there's like looks to be like 17 different types of fungus on this guy growing out of his like carotid, just like splitting out of his neck, taking over entire sides of his head. Very Davy Jones crew kind of style, like from Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of looking like that, except fungus, not like coral and starfish and clams and whatever. And they just, as you approach, just kind of like turn their neck just a little too far than they should, and then the rest of their body kind of realigns, and they just look at you like, welcome to reuse my cycle. How may I help you today? And they're not making eye contact, they're just looking in 1,000-yard stare.
Well, we heard you might have some potions.
Yes, I have many liquidities for those who wish to trade. I can sense that gesture.
Just checking. Are you okay?
What do we want in here? What do you?
I am well.
I think he wants some potions.
Okay. What do you have?
I have many potions that you desire. or request. I have potions that allow you to breathe underwater. I have potions that allow you to see in darkness. I have potions that allow you to breathe fire. I have potions that allow you, and then their mouth doesn't move, and they just go and blow a bunch of spores in all of your directions, and you can't help but inhale them. They don't appear poisonous, so you're okay. But you can't help it. They just fill the whole area with like a cloud of spores, and then you just hear in your mind just kind of like fuzz, like white static, like TV static before it gets shunned by a voice in your head. This person's voice in your head that just says, "I have potions that allow you to communicate like this," and you just hear their voice telepathically without their mouth moving.
Well, that's interesting.
I have potions that allow the blind to see. And I have potions that heal thee.
How much are you wanting for your potions to see in the dark?
Ah, yes, I do not charge coinage like my competitors. I require more substance so that I may continue proliferating.
What kind of substance?
If you have detached pieces of anatomy from creatures, I would love to have those so that I may grow the colony.
Can't say that I have any meat on me at the moment.
One competitor referred to it as monster parts.
Nope.
Like, I don't have anything.
Fresh out.
However, I'm sure we could come to some agreement. I am always looking to recycle used goods, as the mycelial network always looks to continue the cycle.
So what are you looking for? What do you need?
What do you have? It's really hard to keep a straight face. For lack of a better term, guys, this is like just out of character in a little meta knowledge. This is like probably the first Myconid type person that you've come across. You know what? Do me a favor, Argus. Go ahead and who's proficient in medicine here, trained in medicine?
No one.
The medicine person is off teaching Lahg.
Okay, but you're a cleric, so I'll give you that one. So
You
go ahead.
get one.
You get one.
Well, I remember I'm not trained in it.
Yeah.
So 19.
19. So you're not trained. So this body is not breathing. There is no heartbeat. It's this body. The body is dead. The platform is dead, or at least it like appears to be. But it seems to be like being kept alive and functional and not rotting, or at least rotting in a way that the fungus is growing on it and controlling it. Like it is just a platform for
Is a meat sack.
the spore fungal consciousness
Mushroom
that
to
it's
drive
occupied.
around.
It'd be like,
Almost like it was and it looks like a body, like the Triton body looks like old, and you don't see any like old dirt. Like you don't see any like wounds that would have caused more than one. If your best guess with a 19 looks like this Triton probably died of old age, and the fungus took it over as a new platform to recycle it for a new use.
I mean, it's dead. But the fungus is probably controlling it. So reuse my cycle.
Yeah. And you're like passive insight. You're not getting any like malevolence from this. It's just, nature taking its course.
We're talking to mold.
Would you have value for a pinch of dust that could absorb water and then be released somewhere else?
That does sound quite intriguing. How many of these pinches do you have?
A few?
Sequence that.
Yes. Yes.
I'm also willing to trade either for an arm or a leg.
I think I want those for now.
Very well.
I mean, in the future, if I ever have no longer need for them, be sure to come back.
So you know like how that those leaf cutter ants go and cut big old blades of grass, and they, or whatever they're called, grass cutter ants, or they get big old blade of grass, and then they take them to a part in their anthill where they don't eat the grass because they can't eat the grass, they can't digest the grass. They use it, and then they put stuff on it, and they let it decay to grow a fungus and a mold on it, which is what they eat.
They are called leaf cutter ants. However, they do not only cut leaves; they also cut grass and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they bring it to like a fermenting hole, like in their colony, where they like grow mold, and then they eat the mold or whatever the fungus is.
Sorry.
And so it's like he's looking for more material to grow more of himself, themselves,
Mushroom
whatever
spores.
they are. Granted, he, she doesn't really. He, she, they doesn't really apply here. It's a high consciousness mind of they individuals.
Got that high mind consciousness.
Yeah.
Besides the potions, do you have anything else interesting?
I have more of myself. I give you air from my lungs. He blows more spores in you, and he starts to just communicates for the rest of the conversation telepathically.
I think I'm good.
I don't need anything.
Anything you have to offer that might be of value, I'd be happy to trade as long as I can recycle it.
Did we want more health potions?
I'm not really concerned about the health potions. I'm thinking more about the seeing in the dark, because that's one thing I do not have and would be at a serious disadvantage.
I mean, between us, we have light spells and torches. You should be okay.
A lot of light. There we go.
Yeah.
If you'd like to know more about any of my merchandise, all you must do is ask.
Think about it. Because you're in my head.
You just see, like, he's not saying anything, he's just,
Gesticulating.
while you're hearing this voice in your head.
Did you want something?
That was probably the only thing I could think of.
He's got quite a bit of potions too. He's got more potions than you've seen. You can see like kind of like a spice rack. He has like several spice racks that just come out that are filled with many of these types of potions. Like he has several of the same types of potions, like quite a bit, and he has quite a bit of healing potions as well. He has a lot. This is the most potions you've probably seen in one place.
I'm good. I got nothing for him anyway.
I mean, if you want something, I can probably trade him some things.
So, I have potion that allows you to communicate the way we are communicating now. I have potion that allows you to breathe underwater. I have potion that allows you to see without seeing. Those who are blind can see anything that makes a sound or that you feel in the air moving. I have potion that allows you to see very, very well in the dark. I have potion that allows you to heal yourself or others. I have potion that allows you to breathe hot flames out of your food receptacle.
You like cigars?
What is cigar?
It's tobacco. It's a plant that's been dried up.
It is a dried plant. You have biomass.
That's a yes.
That's a yes.
I would love to trade for biomass.
Okay, so I pull out the 3 cigars.
Then, like, you don't still have Log's poop, do you?
He just like
I didn't keep any of
he
it.
just like reaches out with one hand, and like the hand that you see doesn't have fingernails, just like holes at the tips of the fingers where like spores just come out. It's like really weird. Ooh, the idea of it grosses me out. But and spores just kind of shoot out, and they just kind of rest on the cigar, and they're like, "Ah, yes, this will do nicely. I would love to trade for this stick of biomass."
I've got 3 of them.
Wonderful. What would you like in return for these sticks of biomass?
What are the potions again?
I'll just lift them off of you. There's a potion of spore communication, which allows you to do what he's doing for a lengthy period of time. There's a potion of water breathing.
Okay.
There's a potion that allows you to see without seeing. Like those that are blind can still see.
Blind sight.
Something like that, maybe. There are several different types of potions of healing. There's a potion of fire breath, and there's a potion of
Dark sight. Dark
a
vision.
very strong potion of something that will allow you to see in the dark, but very, very well. More than some races can.
Like, as well as
Okay.
Log.
So I want to get a dark vision potion.
Is that very well? I'd be happy to trade one of your sticks of biomass for this dark potion. And you can have a potion of superior dark vision.
Okay.
Go ahead. You have the whole right tool for the job thing, right? So, and at the end of any short or long rest, you can just be proficient in any toolkit. Have you ever been proficient in alchemy?
No.
You will, at some point, if you wanted to examine exactly what that thing does, you could possibly take a sample as your, artificer ability would allow, unless anybody else is proficient in alchemy kits.
Would identify the spell.
But yes, it
Be
would,
an
because
idea.
it is still a magical potion. So you have 2 cigars left.
I would say we have enough healing between us, don't we?
That seems so.
I think we're good. And we don't plan on being underwater anytime soon.
Right.
You never know. But
That's why we need it.
Right.
Wait. Yeah, you never planned to be underwater until a tunnel collapses, and now you're underwater.
The potion only helps one of us, so
Point that out.
one of us cannot drown while everybody else drowns.
Right.
That's something, though,
I'm not
especially
very
if it's
comfortable
spellcaster.
right now.
How about the one that allows us to communicate without speaking? Because we may need to do that at some point in time.
Yes.
Log and Cole can both already do that.
I
And are
diffused,
we allowed to
Respond.
communicate to the
Yeah.
back?
Yep.
Okay.
I suffused and titrated my own spores into something that does not put you into my own consciousness unless you want to. It allows you to communicate over long distances with as many creatures as you choose that are near to you at the same time.
Okay, so we have breathing water,
Basically,
I've already been.
darkness.
you can choose any amount of creatures that are within a certain range of you once you drink the potion.
Right.
As long as you're under the effects of the potion. The potion lasts for several hours.
Okay.
And then you have the ability to spread spores to them. And
But
when
we
you
can
do
already
that,
do that, though.
you can do that, but once you do that, you communicate with all of them telepathically, simultaneously, over a decent distance.
Which is like a 7th level spell, honestly. But
I've already been dewormed once this week. I think I'll pass on that.
well, if
take
you
it.
would just take your medication.
Very well. So this is a potion of rapport spores.
There's spores in there.
There's actual umami spores in there.
Oh, cool.
It's fine. We use it.
I did my best to actually make these taste like their abilities.
No, thank you.
I hate you.
Don't say that. That's not nice.
No, 'cause just reading these abilities, I don't know if I actually want to taste them.
Potions don't taste good, just so you guys know.
I know, I'm taking a healing potion.
Underwater, healing,
Fire breath,
You can already breathe
blind sight.
stuff.
blind sight. So,
Blind sight, just so you guys are aware, like when
Like
you have
tremor
blind sights, things that go invisible can't hide from you.
Right.
Because you can see them. Because you can hear them. It also is like a better version of Tremor Sense. It's just different.
Isn't there something that I already have though?
You can sense certain kinds of beings.
You have Divine Sense.
Yeah.
That gives you 60 feet as long as something's not behind you.
Right, but then I want to say
Blind Sense is like
if I strike something, or I have to look and find it somewhere.
it's your vow of enmity, you can give yourself advantage on a creature for 1 minute that you can see within 10 feet.
Okay.
As long as once you cast it, then you get advantage on all the attacks. If that's what it is you're talking about.
One more.
I think there's like a branding smite too that makes it glow. There's also a guiding bolt. Makes something glow. Oh, fairy fire is also something it can make.
I
Yeah.
don't know how.
No, yeah, he killed like 4 dudes that I fairy fired in the first fight.
We get the breathing underwater too.
Very well. Now give your 3 cigars.
Cast it once.
I collected water from this platform's original habitat and suffused it with magic. Saltwater vodka.
It's all looking.
Now you gotta drink them when you gonna take them.
Can't wait to figure out how you're going to do these ones from now.
Would you like any other potions that I offer? Or any potions of healing?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Very well. I will add these to the colony. And you just see them take the cigars. And you think they're going to put them in their mouth. And they just shove them into an open hole in their throat. Thank you. Your contribution was much appreciated.
Hey, it's 3 cigars. I don't smoke anyway.
Yes.
What the heck?
It's biomass. They need biomass.
Just out of curiosity, what if someone offered to spread your spores for you? As travelers, would that be possible?
If you are asking if I could spread the colony, if we could spread ourselves to more locations to have a further grasp on our existence, that is an intriguing offer.
Like, we travel around a lot. If you gave us, like, a piece of something,
I understand you wish to be a link in the great wheel that we call existence.
not me, myself, but, like, I could carry some of you
Yes.
somewhere else.
Just like a herbivore carries seeds within its bowels
Yes.
until they're deposited
Exactly.
within the soil to grow another plant.
It all comes back to poop.
Wait, with some deck action.
Would that be something of value to you?
This is very intriguing. What would you like in exchange, and how should we go about this?
I don't want anything specific. I was just curious if that would be something you were interested in.
Color me interested.
Okay. In case
Don't
we need to come
actually
back.
color me.
I mean, you could with precipitation.
Should I give you a spore pod?
Not at the moment. I was just curious.
You make me sad. Us sad.
I mean, yeah, why not? Give me a spore.
And it's just big old.
So now we cultivate
How do I?
own mushrooms.
No.
Seems to be
You know, anybody who's played Half-Life 2? You know,
Are you the only one?
you know, like the sand bugs where they have those thumpers. Nobody's played Half-Life 2.
Nobody raised their hand.
Gordon Freeman. All right. Well, anyway, there's this like a pod, like a pheromone pod that's like this, just kind of like this bio spore pod that you throw it, and then it like makes pheromones go in one area, and then all the like stormtroopers type like sand bugs come out and like go to that area rather than come to you. And so that's kind of what it is. It's like this squishy stress ball version of like a spore pod that if you squeeze it hard enough, it goes like and just like squirts out spores. And it's like, it's very organic.
I'll have Conk reach out and take it from him.
Yeah, and it's like
Is there any certain?
every once in a while it kind of like scooches back and forth by itself.
Is there certain anything I need to do to care for this thing?
Have it travel far and wide and deposit it on wealths and collections of biomass.
I mean, do I need to give it food or water, or
Just biomass.
does it need air?
Just biomass.
So what are you going to give us for doing this?
In exchange for spreading this, could I perhaps receive some health potions?
Roll persuasion check.
Oh.
I can't even help you.
You
I'm not
did
there.
best, Hero Sam.
14.
14. Hey, that's not bad. Perhaps. How does a regular healing potion sound?
I think like 3 would be a lot better.
I don't think you
Roll
realize how
persuasion
much
check.
we
How much biomass?
A lot of
Please don't store this in your bag of holding.
keep it in
14.
I do request that you don't deposit it on creatures that are still using their biomass.
I'll do my best.
It's a good mechanism.
Just only 14.
14 and 14.
Yeah.
You drive hard. I don't know the word.
I could have been helping.
Bargain?
Bargain.
Yes. You drive bargain.
You did say hard the first time.
You drive bargain. I would be happy to part with a lesser and a regular.
Are you okay with that?
I think that's a
Do
fair
you
trade.
realize how much biomass we see? A lot of shit.
I don't.
We've killed like purple worms
Interesting.
and very large creatures.
That's fascinating.
We travel all over. And
Going down the deep tunnels.
we're gonna go into the Underdark,
So that means you will die soon.
and then our biomass could be absorbed.
That's true. I will give you one regular healing potion and one less. I mean, you got 2 persuasion checks out of that. That's all you're gonna get.
A regular and a lesser should be just fine.
Doesn't really help. I'm trained in persuasion.
Oh yeah, that would have been a nat one.
Here's the regular.
And I think
I think I have
Is there
the.
a lesser over there that's been used or no?
Well, no, there's the lesser that I've been holding on for like
I'm holding on.
since I had my surgery.
I think I have one in the.
Is there one on the far side of the big guy?
If you've got,
No, I have one in the car.
I'd say if you need a.
That's a regular
I think
one.
I have a red dye. if
It's
you
got
just
2 in
need-
there or
you
just
have
one?
one of the
Two.
jars.
That's a regular. Because this is a lesser right here.
Yeah, this.
So you guys, I think
I think
everybody
we
but
have all the
Jenny
lessers.
has a healing potion.
I
But if he needs one, I have a.
Yes, that's one I've got.
I have a
Like, wasn't
red
it
knife.
2 I gave, or was it just?
We still have this
the other one
guy.
you gave to.
Yeah, that's in the. That's in the. Big
So-
one.
Superior.
So the artist has got
Well,
one.
no, that's in the bag of holding. So basically, you're carrying it with you all
Yeah.
the time.
Okay.
Right. So I now have 3 essentially in the bag of holding.
Okay.
Was there any moon
Varying
blood
levels.
left, or
Yeah, there's still moon dust.
no moon
good.
blood?
Yes, we should have one. I didn't trade it all away.
No.
Go. Here's the other one.
Otherwise, I have a red
I don't-
D4 I can give you.
I don't trade all of my stuff away. Like if I've got some, I'll trade a couple of them. But
Unless you run into 2 deals back to back that are just too good to go.
I have 1 vial of moon blood left, and I have 2 sacks of moon dust left that I haven't traded away.
Don't worry, I have my human sequence glove still. Singular.
Gonna like run into a nightclub with the only way to get in is to show your sequin glove.
It won't fit on my hand on the door.
You'll just be like, smack the bouncer with it. And you'd be like, I told you to do. You'd be like, oh yes, that was the password. Welcome, come in. But you'll be like level 19 when this happens.
It will come into
That's not
some.
working for you, and you need more dice.
Got to do something with it.
Yeah.
Got to enchant that in some
That was
way,
my
shape, or form.
ridiculous trinket. That
I know.
got, like,
Mine turned out to be a mimic, so
well, that's just cool.
you never know what that sequins glove actually is.
please go far and wide and spread the spore of Ankyline. That is this platform's name.
Thank you, Line. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet your biomass.
Zimdek, let's go.
Still in your heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all in your head.
If you desire to see us again, allow us to grow from biomass.
Will do.
How long does it take for you to grow from biomass?
It depends.
Are you always connected?
Still living.
Like if you grow, are you automatically
The
connected?
great wheel of the mycelial network spreads far and wide beyond this planet.
So there's like a mycelium plane that you cross over to?
We have secrets,
Okay.
but there is no distance
Okay.
that we cannot traverse.
Fair enough.
Okay. Have a good day.
I appreciate the gesture.
Let's get out of here.
As we're leaving, I'm gonna as we're leaving, I'm gonna pull out a copper and I'm gonna make a wish, toss it behind me into the cement.
Okay. To be fair, roll a luck check for him.
Want me to do a coin check? Success or failure?
No, that's 50-50. You roll a d20, please.
Well, he's flipping a coin. I get where he's coming from.
Yeah. 15. Let's flip a coin into the cenote. Feel like a kid again.
Please don't let these spores infect me, please.
We can always burn them out of you.
You can have powers like
They wave as they're saying bye. Remember, I am everywhere and every place, all the time,
Okay.
all at once.
See you later, Ankyline.
How do we get your spores out of my head?
You just hear in your head, they will dissolve naturally in a short time.
Sure they will.
We got body snatchers.
We're now forever connected to Ankyline.
It's now going to be a new religion.
what's that? Our third one we've started.
Ankylites. So
Ankylites. I love it.
Perfect.
Ankylites.
I have used the
Ankylites.
writing now. Great. So we're gonna shift the camera as the camera fades out as a storm. As a storm of spores goes in front of the camera, and there's like a bit of a whiteout fade. We go back to the Firebeard estate, or Firebeard homestead, I should say, where Cole and Lahg and Moonchild, Shenny, and I think that's it, right? Oh, no,
And
Pernua.
Grim
and Pernua.
Ermgrim and Pernua are here. Anything you guys are trying to do? I believe we talked about pretty much everything that you were doing with.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything.
We had finished our thing.
We're up
We've
to-
done our spells that we were trying to do.
So I'll say you guys, is your intention to head back to the homestead?
Head back and rest.
Okay, so I'll say you guys have about 1 more hour before the rest of the party meets up with you. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Since I didn't succeed on that check, I'm gonna pull out my book of poisons and punctures and stuff like that,
Okay,
and kind of start looking through it for inspiration.
got it. Okay,
Just kind of doing my studying.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and roll either an Arcana check for me or a medicine check.
And then I'm going to try and finish my rotate horn, the shofar or whatever it's called.
Oh, cool. Like just tinkering with it?
Yeah, just trying to finish hollowing it out.
Yeah, no check necessary. Just give it enough time, you'll get it.
21 on my medicine check.
One of my medicine check. Although you're not trained in alchemy, you're starting to understand that through some of the methods that are explained here, there is a way to combine, as you know, master alchemists know, there is a way to combine innate and summoned magics of like a spellcaster or like how wherever you get your magic with alchemical means and with alchemical reagents, as it were. And the reason why this is so apparent is because you're noticing, like, in the ingredients in the process of several of these more complicated treatments are just that. Be like, hey, put this spell into this, or hey, like, make sure it's a little bit more vague than say, hey, cast this spell. It's more like it's list the spell components and the incantation as part of like the ingredients and the recipe for making like the cure to some shit and everything in it. But it also requires alchemical reagents as well. And you're like, oh shit, okay, these things can be combined, which gives you whatever idea you may have.
Cool. That's all I was trying to do was get that idea.
Yeah.
So,
we got Dawn and Dusk, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Did anybody give you that? Were you here when we did that?
No, he was not.
That's what I thought.
Do you have?
I believe we bought it for him. And
Yeah.
we were intending.
I gave you the card.
You just weren't here, so we didn't.
Yeah.
Is it underneath your box?
Yeah, it's right there. So technically, you actually do have it already.
So we bought you a magic weapon.
He thought
I'll
he thought
pull
that we
out
hadn't given it to him yet.
the very crossbow, and I'm like, what's wrong with this one?
Melee weapon. Melee weapon.
Then
Yeah.
would this be better for Eleazar?
What? No.
A magical attack range weapon?
Can you picture him insulting
We got him a bracelet of blasting.
That's one use.
Yeah. But if he can't close in on it within one use,
If we're fighting flying creatures, he can shoot it once. He can't shoot it more than that.
I'll give
Having a
him
magical crossbow.
I'll give him my crossbow.
No, he has a crossbow. I'm talking about a magical crossbow.
If you guys want to explain to them what these items do, you can.
I listened.
No, he doesn't know about you.
He doesn't know about the very
crossbow. We bought that after you
You
left.
bought that, yeah.
I can't picture him insulting people.
It's true. You do have to insult the crossbow,
Okay.
and so you have to roll a. I think it's an intimidation check.
Okay, which be because mine's
Yeah.
+5.
A DC 12 intimidation check.
Okay.
Then if you succeed,
He's got good
it does
charisma.
fire damage.
Okay.
I mean, you've seen him. He's been quite intimidating sometimes.
Right.
Because I think that's probably better for you than for me.
Are you proficient in crossbows?
It's
Paladin, yeah, he's
Yeah.
perfect.
Simple weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Simple range?
It's actually one of the weapons that I have.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
But having a
Does it
magical crossbow.
require attunement?
Yeah.
It does.
So
But I can only attune two
Three
things.
things.
Oh,
Grand total
really?
of 3, yeah.
So you have your blade,
I've got my belt now.
your
what
troll,
moss hide.
your moss hide belt,
Mhm.
and then you'll have the very crossbow, and that'll be 3.
But so what are you going to use?
Spells.
He's got
Cantrips?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lots and
you can
lots
cast
of
a
fire
cantrip
spells.
till cows come home infinitely.
Well, everybody can cast a cantrip until the cows come home.
Paladins can't.
I can't.
Cantrips?
No, they don't get cantrips.
No,
that's
paladins
right.
don't get
Yeah,
cantrips.
that's why this is probably better
right.
for you.
Yeah.
So that would give us all magical attacks both at ranged and up close.
Right.
Because all the rest of us have ranged magical attacks, just as part of our spell stuff.
Wow. Like, what were you guys doing when I was being tortured and locked up? Holy cow.
Sounds like
Killing things.
Looting.
Looking for vengeance.
I developed some of those skills.
Wow.
Wait till you see one of the purple worms. We killed one of those things. They keep talking about them, but you haven't seen it.
Zemdek is excited because it gives him another hole to
It's-
crawl up.
It's terrifying.
You can crawl up another blood.
I'm more. You make it sound like I'm excited about the hole crawling. I'm more excited about the gems and the precious metals.
Yes, the corn.
He likes to go spelunking, is what he likes to do.
That word,
All the corn.
spelunking.
It kind of it's actually fairly accurate for what you're doing inside the worm. You're going after the rocks.
It's so aesthetically appropriate.
More an unfortunate action that's worth it.
So are we back with everyone now? Is everyone
You
back
can be
together?
now if you want, but you said I gave them an hour. What is there anything you guys would like to do?
Okay, what about the bracelet of blasting? Because if I'm getting this,
Bracelet of Blasting doesn't require attunement.
right, but
And Grant,
it's,
and remember,
it's one spell,
so here's the deal.
does anyone?
Don't forget, Bracelet of Blasting does fire damage, which is magic.
which you
Right.
need if we end up messing with Terzin.
Yeah.
Yes. the very crossbow still does magical damage because it's a magical
And it
weapon.
does fire.
But it is
Fire spell. Fire
If
spell.
you
if you, but yeah,
Tons
and
of
also
fire
it's just
spells.
piercing damage. from
Fire
this.
What he's saying
Hold
is
on.
nobody really needs that either.
Okay.
And most of us have spells that we can shoot as well.
Okay.
So this gives you things that you can do that we can already do with
Yeah,
our
'cause
own.
Argus can
because
do
we're
more damage with his
stuff.
Cantrips.
Okay.
with his ranged cantrips than he can with that.
Especially next level, because they get improved cantrip.
If we get into weird situations, that just gives you options.
Is that one of the optional
So
rules?
so I add my wisdom modifier to my cantrip damage.
That might be a domain thing.
It's a light domain thing.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
I was like,
As soon as he said that, I was like, I bet you that's a domain thing.
It is.
Whoa.
I don't remember if that's the exact name of it, by the way.
Like domain.
It's a lot of extra.
Potent spell casting. Starting at 8th level, you add your wisdom modifier to the damage you deal with any cleric cantrip.
So the only way that it acts as a magic crossbow is if I try to intimidate it.
Yes, it always acts as a magical crossbow.
Okay.
It adds fire damage
Okay.
if you insult it.
Okay, so it goes from a 1d8 plus 1 to a 1d12.
Correct.
I'm like, I can do more damage
me see.
with the cantrip.
And then if it fails, there you go.
It's kind of a double-edged weapon,
Right up on the stuff.
but you're also
I don't know
proficient
enough about
in
sickles.
intimidation.
No, so the actual like crossbow bolt, the arrow out of it, is the 1d8 plus 1 damage.
Right.
As part of the attack action, you can attempt to intimidate it, and that adds an extra 1d12 of fire damage.
So
If it's successful.
1d8 plus 1d12?
Honestly,
Yes.
never.
If
Okay.
you're successful on your intimidation.
It-
Now,
add up to
how
a
many
total of 20.
attacks is that, though? Because I get
One.
two attacks.
yeah. That is the weapons don't determine the number of attacks. Your abilities determine the number of attacks. So you would still get to fire the very crossbow twice.
Except
However,
crossbows have loading.
right. However, because the crossbow, it has the loading property, which means no matter how many extra attacks you have, you can only shoot it once because you have to reload it.
Unless
Yeah.
I get crossbow as a...
Unless you get crossbow expert or something that allows you to have.
And that's because historically crossbows took a lot of effort to load. You had
course.
to put on another piece or have two people to load.
Now,
a crossbow.
one moment.
So
So, and the other thing is, you remember that if you attempt to intimidate it as part of your attack, or whatever,
Fail.
it just refuses to work and you can't use it. It doesn't mean that you waste your attack. It means you can just do your action. You can you can choose to do something else. So you can't
which
use
is
it.
actually why having both of these might be a better choice for you, because if the crossbow stops working, you still have at least one ranged attack.
Gotcha.
Granted, you don't have to try to intimidate it.
Right.
But if you want that extra damage, you'll have to.
Right.
Essentially, if we're fighting like something that's flying around in the sky and won't land, and so you can't just hit it with your sword, we're giving you options to hit it instead.
Gotcha.
Granted, none of these things you can pump your smite into because you can only pump smite into melee weapon attacks.
Your divine smite, your smite spells.
Yes.
He is
Some of
correct
them
about
work
that.
on range.
Your smite buff spells, like your bonus action.
Some of them.
buffs.
Doesn't burning smite work on a ranged attack?
Yes. There's
It's
two.
just a weapon attack, I believe, for that one.
Yes.
Your divine smite.
Yeah. So
Only
your
works with
smite
melee
spells you can use with that. Your smite, divine smite, you can't.
Okay.
A lot of details.
Yes, a lot of details, a lot of moving parts. So
No, but that's fine.
None of us
So-
chose simple
so-
classes. I'm going to say.
So
that.
while we're resting, can I just make sure that my other items I attune with them so that they can
absolutely. Yeah, it takes an hour for you to attune to an item. So a short rest or just having it equipped to your person for an hour. And you're just concentrating on these three items. And once you're attuned to it, you know what it does.
Okay.
Mostly. Okay, cool. You wanted to do something. Yes.
10 minutes into, well, it'll take me an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to bring Shakar back as his little burrowing owl form again.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got it.
Okay.
Shakar will come back as a buttering out.
don't want to increase the cult of Ubuntu.
I'm being practical with where we're going.
As
As
we're-
much as I love
as we're
him in his
walking back,
platypus form.
I do too.
Can I just say that I
It's
pick
one
up-
person at a time, guys. One
I
person
know,
at a time.
he's going to come back. He will. He will come back as a platypus when we're above ground.
Yes, go ahead.
As we're walking back, I'm assuming we can like walk past a vendor that's selling jerky or
Absolutely.
rations.
Yeah. I mean, you were in the cenote. You have to go through the market district
Yep.
anyway.
I just want to
Yeah.
check because
I gotta buy food for the mimics.
You got it.
Feed the pets.
There's obviously some sendings we need to do. When we're ready.
Okay. If nothing else, for the individuals that are at the homestead, you guys all reconvene. At the Firebeard home, the forge is lit with a blue light. As you see, Ermgrim is just kind of working it. He's fashioning himself just a crude yet nicely crafted axe for himself, just to like a hand axe, just to keep on his person.
Big. There's ones on the wall right here.
No, it's easier for me to like
I know. I'm just being.
infuse it with my abilities and craft it myself with my own fire. You know.
No, I'm just being a jackass.
I mean, and he just like he raises his hand and just causes the flame to go, like how Wolverine does his middle thing to do the middle finger, but he does like a mode of flame up there.
Light up my flame back at him.
Actually, okay, this is really funny. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Blue finger versus red finger.
Perception is 9.
9. Okay. Despite your desire not to notice this, you realize that his blue flame is quite a bit hotter than your red flame.
Oh,
Oh man.
oh, flame envy.
Man.
So much so that when he does this like this kind of like Vorpal type like psi blade thing, it looks like a guitar. I don't know if you're familiar with like the assassin guitars, the things that they have attached to the wrist and they hold on to, and it has that triangular sharp bit. Is fully made of plasma. It's that hot. And that's probably it. So you're trying to get the idea that like each of the keepers of the flame have their own, like, I don't want to say portfolio, but like special ability with flame that kind of resides in that office, where yours is like the soul communal thing that you've become more and more adept with, so yours is more esoteric, where his is just like, my flame's really fucking hot, and and it's
But it doesn't burn me.
and it's plasma, and it doesn't burn me, and it's like straight up plasma. Like you looking at this, you believe like he could like lightsaber cut through metal with this thing, which is why he's probably doing what he's doing with his own flame. Yeah.
I'll be like, I never actually got around to tell you how I got the ability to manipulate souls, commune with souls.
Aye.
So, one of our companions, Trisheni, and at that time, I didn't have the ability to bring her back.
Aye.
It was like I just got that ability, and it hadn't been bestowed on me yet. So we took some of Lagh's magical arcane drugs.
Some of Lahg's magic powder.
That's wonders.
Which sent me into a trance where I was face to face with Gosuth.
So you did like a drug vision.
Yes. And that's when he presented me this hammer.
In a sewer.
So you say you've seen him like face to face.
Yes.
Well, di freaking da.
You asked how I got my ability.
I'm a little jealous. I haven't seen them face to face.
He basically said, you get one. And there's one
Oh
that
shit!
you
So
get.
he like.
Yeah. He said, you get one. He goes, there's plenty of other people I deal with. You get
Alright,
one.
so you better not fuck up again.
Yes.
Alright. So you're already on thin ice.
Yeah. So I have not,
Well, he never said that to me.
well, he didn't say anything to you.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, well, I'm glad you can do that. That means he's blessed you in some way. He's blessed me with this, and
Hey,
couple other
that's
things.
super cool. You can cut through things.
It's
with
pretty
fire.
cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, you already know what the black flame can do.
Right.
Unextinguishable flames. That she can summon without a mind, which is scary. One of the things, the reason why she holds the office that she does is because it's one of the things that's
She can take down
extremely,
kerosene.
exactly, it's extremely effective as extinguishing and facilitating the creation of spent terrazine, or terrazine that is workable for the purposes of
Absolutely.
organomex technology and magical catalyst. So there's no wonder how she fell into that role. However, you say that your deity is also known as the White Flame, but it still leaves something. There's a little confused because the flame itself is a metaphysical concept. It's not really a thing or a person. So if they've called the White Flame, then it doesn't.
In a way,
don't
can't
think
deities
they-
be metaphorical constructs? We can't necessarily touch them.
It's true. I mean, it just seems odd to me that if they're known as the White Flame and not the keeper of the White Flame, then maybe there's something else. I don't know. But
It's all
wonky.
Have you actually ever met Warm Blizzard? Like, physically in person?
If enough,
More of like a sense of a presence.
Right.
if enough people worship the white flame as a deity, could that make it a deity?
I mean, look, I'm not a theologist. I'm just someone who knows a lot about this particular sect of theology.
So hey, there's a platypus.
Yeah, but I'm not like I don't study. I don't study all religions. I'm just good at this one religion.
so you're not trained in it.
Right.
So,
So say there's this platypus.
Now, listen. Like all I know is that it very well may be. I mean, if we're to describe and understand that the power that deities and that divine beings, or whatever you want to call them, higher power beings, derive a great portion of the power from their worshippers, then who's to say that one could not be spontaneously gendered by just a belief? Who knows?
Shikar,
if the stories are true, dragons were functionally immortal. The longer they lived, the more powerful they
So
were.
the stories go.
So if a dragon became the keeper of one of the flames, and they just lived forever, got more and more and more powerful, could not that dragon, who was also a keeper of the flame, take on more spiritual
You're saying, so if this white flame...
transcend whatever?
or it got lost in translation. Like just overall, the
That's
two
that was
became
my
one.
thought as well, like perhaps
Drop
with how
keeper.
old it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was with the dragon for so long that now the flame thinks it's a dragon.
If we're to listen to the stories of old about these mythical creatures that are said to that most of the stories say are just, stories. If we're to understand that if they did exist, many of the lore of these fabled creatures comes from their pride in their name.
If they existed,
Pardon me. If the stories about them are to be believed, much agency is put into and much weight is put into the pride and their names. They're very important. Many of them had many names, tens, if not sometimes hundreds of names. If these documenters are anything worth their salt, and if you studying this deity know for sure that they're called the white flame and not the keeper of the white flame, that's a very distinct difference.
Depends on if they're from the college or not.
Possibly. But if you have communed specifically with this deity, and you know for sure it's called the white flame and not the keeper of the white flame, there may be something to that.
Cole was making that comment about whether the story should be believed.
Right. You're right. Yeah, just throwing some shade. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's any blowhard can pick up a pen and writes a couple things as long as they're literate. So it wasn't until in more recent history that the people have become more accountable for the things that they've been writing down, or try to have more factual accounts. So
If they're members of the college.
that's correct.
Any Yahoo can make up a story and call himself a bard.
In fact, that's exactly what bard was. If you look, that's actually a funny story. The term bard actually came from people who would just make up stories and travel for entertainment.
Sure.
Well, that's what my parents told me. What do you think it's from?
We met some folks the other day,
Okay.
I
and it seemed more
not familiar.
of a tradition. Like there was some honor behind it.
They were the initial bards, the traveling people. They travel on their wagons, tell their stories. Don't get along with the college.
But that doesn't mean everybody was as honorable.
Correct. They're more of what the college was before, what bards were before the college, or what bards should have been before the college.
Honestly, I can't say I've heard of these food K people, but if they are what you say,
They know how to party, I'll tell you that.
it's great.
They did respect.
Maybe invite them over sometime.
They respected the flame.
The what?
They respected the flame.
I mean, last we knew there were some outside of town. They may not be there anymore. We left a leg when we left them.
No, we
A
burned. That.
leg?
In York.
No, I got burned.
Oh, did it get burned?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we left a burnt leg.
A burnt corpse.
No, a burnt leg. There was no corpse. There was a burnt leg.
There's a floating York.
Yeah, there was also a levitating zombie.
They may not want to see us anymore. They were here. They were just outside when we showed up where you were.
Provided the story, right? So
Well,
We're not.
you would know more about that than I would.
It's a lot.
Being a member of the college and all.
All this whole conversation's going on. Can I be trying to train Egg Mimic to turn into a square?
To turn into a cube?
Yeah. You get like an ingot off the side of the forge. And I'm
Interesting.
like,
You want him to like express his mimic abilities to
Yeah.
try to become something different.
yes.
Okay, this is interesting. Go ahead and roll. I want to say like an
I've got
animal
like some
handling
jerky
check.
and I'm like,
I want you to do two things. First, I want you to roll a history check, and then I want you to roll an animal handling check. Let's resolve the history check first, and then we'll do the animal handling check.
22.
22 for history. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. 22 for history. What do you understand about mimics, especially now that you've had two on your person for so long, and that you've occasionally given the chance, done a little cursory research, is that most of the time, once a mimic has chosen its form, like they are birthed into the world. They're not birthed. They're like they come into existence in the world, kind of spontaneously through the presence of a lot of mimics kind of gathering in one area. And like almost like a mitosis thing. Now, once they become into existence, think of them like stem cells.
Mimic pollination.
Yeah, mimic pollination. Think of them like stem cells.
They get close to each other and the pollen just mixes.
Yeah.
Poof.
At some point, some form is chosen or just is, and then they're that. That's what they are for the rest of their existence. However, anything is possible, and magic exists. And both of these things are quite young.
Right.
So if you wanted to try to realign their development into a different direction, you can certainly try. With that said, go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
17.
17. You imagine
Roll great.
that the smoke alarm one that you have in your pauldron, it's probably a little too late for that.
He's complicated and very intricate.
Yes.
Is what he is.
Yes. And he's also from a complete, you don't even entirely know what he is.
Right.
Like he is essentially meta knowledge. Grandpa Cruel, with their psionic powers, pulled information and memories from another timeline and like from another world and decided, you know what, I really like that. I'm gonna surround myself with that kind of style. And so it doesn't really make any sense. It's far beyond or just different. The egg, there's a possibility. There's a possibility that you could, especially since it's literally an egg, like this kind of primordial before something becomes something form. There is a possibility.
It's also been my pet longer, which is why I'm trying on
Exactly.
that one first.
You have a greater rapport with it as well.
Yep.
Here's the deal. You realize that you're going to most likely have to foster this to change its form as nature intended, an egg to be fostered. Meaning you are going to
Need
have
to get it to
to
hatch.
nest the egg and get it to hatch.
I thought that's what he was doing in here.
Kind of.
It's been tucked away in my
Yeah, I'm just, you will have to continue to do so.
in my
Feeding off you
apron.
when you forget to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this is going to be a as nature. It is going to fulfill its process as an egg, and then hatch into what is it you want to do. Now, you also realize that once it hatches, that's it. So the next thing you decide what you want it to be, that's what it's going to be.
That's
Could
fair.
make it like your backpack.
No.
Somebody comes up behind you. Just have your backpack ran leading pickpockets through town.
All right, I'll figure something out.
Yeah. So you just know, like, that's the information.
His next
you
form
need.
is probably going to be
His final form.
what he turns into.
For the rest of his existence or their existence.
I don't want it to just be a cube. I'll figure something out.
Have higher ambitions for it.
Smart move. Smart move.
He's like, because he's an egg, right? So he's
Yeah.
still kind of like half stem cell, half kind of already decided what it is going to be.
Makes
Still has
sense.
the DNA, but
Yep.
not like. Cool.
So we'll work on shape training. I'll get him like used to like there's different shapes out there, not just eggs. So I'll show him like different things.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Cool.
that I can
So with the 17 animal handling, you get him to.
here's a cube, here's a sphere, here's
You find that
a
he's.
triangle.
They get very, very good at the sphere.
Yeah.
Like rather than making themselves an oblong egg, they're able to make them the sphere.
Okay.
The cube is hard.
Yeah.
Because of like sharp corners, and it ends up being more of like this kind of like rhomboid rounded corner thing, and
Okay.
you give them a couple other things. The circle's one it's hard
We'll work on something.
because
for you.
it does have a skeletal structure.
Yeah.
Inside the egg is not an egg.
Nope.
Inside the egg is a brain, a skeleton, and like organs, and they're just so cartilaginous or cartilaginous.
Yes.
It's cartilaginous. Looking at you because
That's a word.
Yeah, that's a word.
That's a word that you're probably looking for.
Yeah.
cartilaginous is that they can like a caterpillar would liquefy itself and become something else into like an ooze.
Yeah, that is the most disgusting thing about that metamorphosis is that it liquefies itself and then
into a primordial DNA soup,
Yep.
and then grows into something. I think that's wild. I think that's awesome. I think it's cool as shit.
Okay. I'll work on shape training
that is
with the
shit.
egg.
Cool.
So we're back in the room now.
Yeah.
Yes. You have it. Yes. You can. So you guys are all back because you Argus and him have been having this conversation. So yeah,
Flames.
and you have been because you were talking about the warm blizzard.
You're 12.
You were talking with them about you think they may exist. I think. So yes, you guys are all here. The rest of the evening is yours. You guys did all your shopping. I'll say it's about like, maybe 4 or 5 p.m. It's kind of like early evening.
Should we send to Sokka?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask? Because apart from where are you? Where
did you end up?
Right, those are the two
What
main
do,
things.
what do we like? What else?
You ran after the shadow and we lost you.
Can we only send to Sofka?
Are you safe? Where are you? Can we get you?
We can send to other people, depending.
Well, because we now have Eleazar back, we might want to check in on mine and Zemdak's families too. Just to make sure they're still alive.
That's a bad idea.
Since, he was supposed to be one of the several hostages that he was using against us.
Pernua, have you been taken over at all?
Not that I know.
You said that you knew. If you had.
Not that I know.
Okay.
I think on top of "Are you okay?" and "Where are you?" maybe we tell Sofka where we're going, and just reconfirm for her that we'll probably be there at the time that we.
We are still headed to.
We were still honoring our contract.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that?
Exactly in about 5 days' time.
Is that tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
We're still headed to Steel Crag. Can we rescue you?
Right?
I kept trying to say Fairspec. I'm pretty sure it's Steer Crag.
So, where are you? You need our help.
Mm-hmm.
We're still heading to Steel Crag. We'll be there in 5 days.
I mean, she was really
Okay.
angry. Yeah. Are you okay?
Yes.
Where are you? Are you okay?
We're heading to Steer Crag.
We're still headed to Steer Crag.
Do you need our help?
Do you need our help?
Cough if you cannot answer. Something like that.
Remember the coughing code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once for yes, twice for no.
Yes, this is the code we established with you.
Yeah.
Is that the full message? So I need
Yeah.
a 25 words or less.
I always have to write it down so I know how many I have.
So you raw dog seeds once again.
Let's see if your raw dog sees once again.
I mean, I just made one where I pulled off two, stuck them together, and then pulled off two more and stuck them on either end.
All the,
so
the
basically,
Oreos, the doubling the double stuffed.
Gotcha.
which is what you saw me
That's
do.
what's called raw dog.
No,
No, that's what he called
That's what
it.
he was calling it.
Oh, that's nice.
Basically, he did what you saw me do, only I took it like 2 steps further because I put the other one on top of that and another one on the bottom. For Oreo.
Well, I was actually talking about that earlier this week. About how she watched you put, we all watched you put 2 double stuff together.
It was
Doing it again?
Well, if we're gonna talk about it, of course he's gonna do it.
I honestly, I haven't done it in a while, and I did it earlier today.
You know, he likes to.
yeah. It was
Just because we
Exactly
enjoy
what
sugar,
you
man, don't shame us.
no. It was just really for some reason that particular moment just really struck me as funny because it's like just this
It's
giant.
almost like
Remember the scissors icon.
Right.
only so much straight icing that I can put in my mouth.
I don't know, but he drove at him there.
It's the non-sweet ice that he can do.
I like fire. Or anything.
Oh,
I'm just curious because this doesn't
so
get
it
like
specifically says if you take damage from fire or acid,
no.
he's gonna be pissed when he hears this later.
then it doesn't work again for another hour.
Okay, but can this build
He's
ever be
going
like
to
physically
laughing.
accurate?
Like all of a sudden,
For the most part, no.
Okay,
it's like
I was
next 2
only
weeks
asking
after you
because
guys get
I'm
back,
gonna
you're gonna just all of a sudden
go
hear
back and take off.
I'll,
No, it's straight
And I
icing.
was running
Yeah.
smart.
I'll hear. Yeah. For sure.
Or does it matter?
It doesn't necessarily matter.
You were asking like an actual kind of serious question?
Items,
Yeah,
once
you were
they're
gonna
like
ask-
magically
keep
enhanced,
defending.
Yeah.
are incredibly
for-
difficult
Yeah.
to describe.
No, and where are you? Do you need our help?
There's
You
certain
okay?
high-level
We're still
spells and
heading to
things
Steer Craig, be there
that
in
can
5
destroy
days,
magical
cough
items,
capture.
but they're very specific.
How many orders is that? 25.
Just taking like
Yeah,
fire
yeah, yeah.
damage, not gonna hurt it.
Okay.
On the money.
But if I wanted to wear
Grab everyone,
plate.
run.
You
I
could.
could. Okay.
Yeah.
The hard part there is he's already has your family.
Or no.
You can't really like.
But that's part of the reason I'm like, maybe we should check in on the 2 families that are under watch, considering we just took one of the hostages.
Do you want?
It hasn't been long enough yet.
Yeah.
It's actually
I mean, do
Big
you want
Mac
us
it.
in the
No, no. You're right. You're right.
Put
It
the
hasn't
bread
been
in the
long
middle.
enough yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just knows that Pernua disappeared. And he might.
He hasn't checked in on her.
That we fucking know of.
He told you that she could tell.
Yeah.
Right.
I gave her the amulet, so maybe he can't. But we don't
Is that that
know.
special tea?
It's Moroccan green
Oh, no, I
green
get it.
mint. Yeah.
Special green mint.
The box is right next to the. You can see it.
So,
Right.
what is your 25 word or less message?
Where are you? Do you need our help? Are you okay? We are still heading to Steer Craig. Be there in 5 days. Profit capture.
Well, I'm back home. Not captured. A little sad. Gonna see if I can find more of us. Oh, outside Kamisk. Are you? And it just kind of cuts off.
Next time, ask her how the rats are.
Yeah, I've got to know how that's.
Nico.
And how she made it back north.
I was worried about which home she said she went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently she's back in Kamisk.
That's far north, right?
Yes. Very far north.
It's not too far from where you are from. Yeah.
For her
Yeah.
to have made it there in the
Depends
past,
on where
what,
she
like
got
2 days? Impossible.
We're basically.
Well, we don't know where she got teleported.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense for her to be teleported, much like we did.
She did. You know for sure that she was teleported.
Just not where.
Yeah.
I mean,
So most likely somewhere nearby there.
Yeah.
Could
Then
have
about-
checked in on your family.
And the fact, so a couple things you can understand. Actually, roll an insight check.
18. I believe I'm plus 7. Yeah, 18.
18. So, from the tone of her voice, you don't appear like she's in any danger. She doesn't appear to be like currently like in rage mode pursuit. Doesn't entirely appear happy, but she's talking the same way you've heard Sofka talk, with that kind of like weird like social anxiety, uncomfortableness. The other things that occur to you that, okay, if she's there, that means that the shade must have put her somewhere nearby, rather than put her somewhere dangerous or in prison,
Yeah.
which you know is well within her capabilities of doing.
And she knew the. Yeah.
The Shade also had to know that teleportation circle.
Well, the Dorken Rye know secret teleportation circles.
Right, but the Shade had to have been
They're part of the
to that one
Yeah.
to know it, to send him there, her there.
Well, it's well within the realm of
Probably
imagination
not
that the
a lot of
Dorken and Rye know quite a few bastions of teleportation across the continent.
Meta knowledge. I don't know this. Never mind.
Because you talked, because
Very nice catch.
Well, we don't.
There's the teleport master, so he actually sends them places.
Well, but
So they might not know the circle.
that's because some of them don't have spell crafting capabilities. She is a full-on wizard that does. The Shade herself.
Right.
It's still a little too far.
So in my mind, it makes sense that she would know how to get back,
It's still
but she wouldn't know how to leave
Yeah.
because the teleportation master always sends
Well,
her.
remember what happened in the prison is that she was bloody. There was Sofka's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And it looked as though the teleportation had been activated once before she activated it
Right.
right away. Meaning that Shade sent Sofka somewhere else.
Correct.
And then stayed where she was.
Yep.
And then sent herself somewhere else.
right.
She'd be like, "You're in my way. You're in my. Get out." And she teleported herself.
Yeah. So Sofka ended up in the Dorkennen Rai circle outside of Kamisk. Within 2 days travel.
Possibly.
Of Kamisk.
Or somewhere near Kamisk if she doesn't know that circle that well, too.
Somewhere within 2 days ride, because she could turn into a horse, or somewhere that's right, anywhere within 2 days ride of Kamisk, possibly, because Sofka does not have teleportation capabilities.
Which could also mean that she ended up in Moshma and then went to Kamisk.
That's not a 2-day ride, though.
Could be if you full tilt boogie all day and all night.
And she can turn into animals too, right? So she could do.
That's what that's
That's also where her.
Yeah, if she was like a warhorse and she full tilt boogie, yeah, she could.
It's also where her circle was, where she originally picked up her abilities.
It's where she
So
grew up.
she's back with her people if she
but
could
her
find
people
them.
don't exist anymore, remember? Because the Shade and her people murdered them
She
all.
said she's looking.
The Shade killed her family or killed the
Wasn't
druidic circle?
necessarily
Killed. Well, they're technically one and the same.
Okay.
From what she shared with you, they killed her mentors,
Yes.
who were
Okay.
her family at the time because she was an orphan.
Yeah.
And then I believe, shared with you that they were part of the Vox Mentis.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, she more shared with Shade, and we found out about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, she also asked Empress about it.
Right. That was when. Yeah, she mentioned during
That's
the.
when she left you below
Well-
in the tunnel.
I'm glad she's good. Can you check on my family?
What do you want to say?
I mean, you also know Sofka not to leave a grudge undone. So she had a taste of adventure, and now she's probably doing something about it up there.
Finding more like us, she's probably trying to find other adventurers that are going to go.
Or
Fuck
more
shit
Vox Mentis.
Yeah.
That she knows is against them.
Right?
Zemdak,
Make a bet. Can I
still
go
fine.
near-
Don't trust strangers. How are you?
You could
Do
say
you
something much
want
about it.
to bring up that we know humans with them?
There's nothing we can do about it.
Be wary of humans?
There's nothing we can do about.
You saw the vision.
Right.
He's already there.
Yeah.
I know. I just said be wary.
Or at least one of his copies is.
So yes.
Or do you want to mention your brother at all too, or no? That's you guys are both safe.
Zemdak and Pinjack, safe. Don't trust the human.
You
Stay
write it
safe.
out and then I'll cast it. I'll read what you wrote. In other words, you just say it and then
I could totally see Zemdak like writing you out like a 50-word
Nope,
just
nope.
end off the family.
Edit that, it's
25.
too long. You don't need this
You
word.
don't need that article,
This adjective is unnecessary.
Caveman speak.
right?
This whole sentence, I don't know why you added this.
Con, what are you doing over there?
Just
Ears,
enjoy.
bing. My name. It's a perfect name too.
The camera cuts her off like right here.
Oh, that's too bad. So she just has ears
Ears?
picking up.
Yeah. Oh, wait, there it is. Her face went, what?
There you
Huh?
go. Hi. Yeah. Just a little cuddle time.
She's always hilarious when she decides to beg.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
Right, she hasn't done that yet. This.
What are the rest of you guys doing? Well, they're
Who else do you want
creating
to
this.
send to?
Eleazar will go
I
into.
knew I'd send to. What's her name?
Are we in a single room or?
You are in. Remember? No, I get
He was not here.
Right. So the homestead is there's a storefront kind of. So there's a single small table and 2 chairs in the front part of the room, and then there's a counter, and then the other side there is like a wall with a couple weapons and armor on it, and a door that goes probably back into another bedroom. And then on part of the counter that like doesn't complete and attached to the wall, so you can get around it, is right next to that. Like in this room with the table and the chair is a full-on forge that is used for baking and creating
Cooking and whatever.
and smithing. And it's crowded. And then there is a ladder that goes up to a loft second floor that is the bedroom for your sister.
After his sister landing on him, I'm pretty sure there's a large crater in the floor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's quite a bit of damage in this house. It is rather warm in here because the forge is lit. Granted, there are like holes and perforations across like near the top, near the ceiling, that give the place filtration, but it's mostly made out of stone. So yeah, I mean, fitting this many people in here it's a squeeze, but you got all guys all sleep on the floor, and there's several
I'm
bedrooms.
gonna sleep outside in my
Eleazar would like to go to the room in the back. You said there's a single room?
To Argus's parents' room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Argus, do you mind if I go back to
They're not using it.
No, I'm
You-
going to sleep upstairs in my room.
You reach the
doors.
door's
Get rid
locked.
of your room.
Well,
The door's
I got rid of
locked.
my
The
bed.
door's locked.
Room.
I mean, you could just brute force the door if you want.
No, I'm not in Argus's house. I don't want to do that.
They're not using
Not
it
in that anymore.
Yeah, they
They're
left.
out skis.
Do I know?
They
what
abandoned
is?
it. We are basically squatters at this point.
Well, but like kind of.
There's no way your mother or
Can I
father will
pick the
tell you
lock?
where the key to their bedroom is. Not a
Can I pick
chance.
the
Doesn't mean he doesn't know where it
tell
is.
me.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he doesn't know where it is, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
That sounds like a luck check to me.
You know what? No, what I'll say is like, I'll say this. At one point you did. It's been many years since you've been home, so it's probably not the same place.
So,
How well do I know the key?
All the hiding spots in the house?
No, I have stone shape.
How well do you know the key?
I can just pick it open.
I mean, your mother is a smith.
That's true.
She
How
absolutely
many
would have
times it
changed.
makes it? Yeah,
And she also knows she's paranoid.
that's true.
She would absolutely would have changed
Change
the
the
lock
lock
on her
up
bedroom
constantly.
several times.
So you do send it to your sister, see if she knows where the
Oh my god.
That's not worth it.
And are you okay?
Would your
But
mom-
really?
But really, what I'm
Also,
really
it's
for-
just a wooden door. You could just
Would my
not.
mom trap the door? Yes, absolutely. My mom would trap the door.
All right.
It's also
then
just a
take
wooden
your fire, burn the door, let the trap
Why
go
are you
off.
burning the door?
Why are you
I'm gonna try
trying
and
to
pick it.
burn something?
All right, have fun.
it is just a wooden door. If you wanted
Send the
to,
cock to the other side, he can try and open it.
That might be.
well within the realm of possibility to just break it down. If you want to.
let's just pick it. Can we?
I'm gonna try and
surprised
I'm
you
gonna
don't
try and pick
burn
it for him.
something with
Go ahead, roll a lock picking check.
Of course, that's when I roll low.
12. You get your little lock picking tools in there, and you're like, and you hear a click, and you're like, ah, and then you feel weightlessness, and you just see, whoa, as Zemdak just falls through the floor. A little trap door opens right in front, and it just goes, ah, ah. You're falling for a good 10, 20, 30 feet
Right.
before you finally hit something.
Featherfall.
You cast Featherfall. Okay, good. You drift down a good like 30, 35 feet into just a pit that has been like stone shaped or dug or worked out just to like trap some. It's only 5 by 5 feet wide, right? It's just meant for one person. Just if somebody was trying to get back in there, enough for them to like get enough to get out of there if they needed to.
Zimdak, are you okay?
I'm good. Can somebody throw down a rope?
You got it. And I throw a rope down to him.
He's still like slowly falling as you're throwing the rope out.
Yeah, that's fine.
I said go ahead. I told you you're probably trapped.
And so I pull him up. I'm sorry, I just need a room.
When you have paranoid people that know how to make things.
So I pull him up.
You pull him up.
There's plenty of tunnels under my house.
You can fix the easily enough, refix the trap so you can stand on that spot again without triggering.
Gives me an idea.
I just need a bedroom.
Do you want me to try? I'm sometimes good with locks. I'm gonna need to borrow your tools though.
Like straddle the pit and try and pick it again.
It's impossible for you to straddle the pit. You are too short. Your legs are too short. You
I will
did a
hold
full
him.
split.
Take a great sword and lay it across the pit. And stand on the great sword.
I will hold him, TJ.
I want to see him pick
Roll a
up.
dexterity check to see if you can balance on the broad side of this greatsword. While lock picking.
That is not what I want to hear.
11.
11. Okay, roll lock picking check.
There we go. 22.
22. You
Get into the bedroom.
and then you look down and you lose your balance and you do that thing where you're like, when you're walking on the curb and you're balancing like on a balance beam and you're like, shit, and you just need that little toe tap to get yourself back up, but you still touch off the balance. That's what you do. You're like, and you push back up. You wait. Nothing happens. And you go, ha-ha! And you just go on the great sword. You hear a creaking below you. Nothing happens. Nothing opens.
There you go. Door's open.
Thank you. So I'll go inside the room.
You walk over the great sword.
Or jump over
I'm just
it.
kidding.
I'm like, no. I'll jump over it.
The trap is no longer triggered, so you're fine. You walk through. It's just very modest bedroom. There's one large bed for two dwarven individuals.
It's a little short. Your feet hang off
You
the
do
end.
diagonal thing.
Wider than it is long, like a California king if it got scaled down.
Turn sideways.
Opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other way. So the headboard is very long. And there's a desk here with a couple pieces of paper. It looks like the desk, all the drawers are open on the desk. It looks like somebody in a rush took quite a bit of ledgers and documents out of here, leaving some papers just strewn about the floor. There's also what looks like wide open another back entrance, another trap exit, like an escape that goes off into a stout tunnel down into darkness. Looks like it was hidden behind a small, stout, short false bookcase, or it's a real bookcase, but it was bolted to the wall, opened up.
Your sister and your should say.
There's a lot of outs. Wait.
So I'm going to go in and
Whatever you.
take off my armor,
Okay,
do
all
all that stuff.
right. You take off your armor.
Yep. And I'm going to pray.
You want to pray?
Yep.
Okay.
Again.
What's your prayer?
Oh. Let's see here.
Yeah, you have to say that every time.
I pray for more libations.
No.
Be a wrench
Warm
guard.
blizzard.
Granted.
Thank thee for the power that you have granted me. I will use it to the best of my ability to fulfill your will and not mine, and help me to be a better dragonborn paladin.
You got it. I'll go ahead and roll a religion check.
Religion check. Ooh. 5.
5 total.
5 total.
Oh yeah.
You say your prayer. You still feel cool, even though you're not wearing your armor. There's a small gust of wind that comes from the escape tunnel, like a draft. Not necessarily uncommon. It's probably some sort of air that comes through there. Other than that, that's it.
And I was just going to pray and meditate and kind of rest, getting ready for the upcoming adventures that I know that are coming. Attuned all my magical items.
You got it.
If needed.
By this time, all of you guys can have a short rest if you want. Not that any of you need it. I don't think.
I only have 28 hit points, but I'm not going to use it.
I mean, if we're taking a short rest, I would be
Is it-
playing.
Yeah.
We're about
Well,
to
but
take
you
a
still have to spend a hit die.
I think what
We're at
you
night.
can.
Hold on, one at a time. One at a time.
Yeah, what did you get hit by?
A clay golem? What?
What did I get hit by?
No, Cole.
I don't get hit by shit.
Oh,
No, he has 28.
oh yeah. But you're fixed now.
Yeah, but I've burnt myself. I've done a few.
Yeah, that's right.
So getting rid of the thing.
If
didn't
nothing else-
heal us. It just
Right.
made us
Oh,
our max.
I was going to say
Your max went back up.
for
I mean, we have nothing else left to do today.
you know,
Send
you were
your
supposed
message.
I Discord.
And
to. Sure, you said.
Bob, pretty sure we don't want to fire inside the house tonight. So either you can set up the hut or I can set up the hut, but I'm pretty sure we should be outside.
Probably right.
Still connected. All right. Did you get it?
Yep. What's your dad's name again?
Watch you see before bed.
I didn't get anything.
No, I sent it to.
Oh,
He said it just.
Do you know?
Apparently me.
Have you sent to his dad before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It didn't
still
work-
have never met him.
It
right?
didn't work the first time, but
Right.
it worked the second time. Erkin.
Right. So
He described
and you
it
still
the
haven't
first
met
time.
him, so you still have to roll.
Okay. Am I rolling or are you rolling?
You're the one casting the spell, so it's you. Oh, you're right. This is the way it works like that. His name is Erkin, yeah.
Pinjack and Zemdak are fine.
Your
These
eldest brother's name is Erky. Forgot about that.
Erky.
Erkin and Erky.
Okay, go ahead.
Key for Nurkies.
Tell me your message.
Pinjack and Zemdak are fine. Stay safe. Beware of the human in Minheim traveling to Steercraig next, then home.
I could barely catch that because of the cadence in which you said it.
You need me to read it better?
Yes.
sent it
Send
to you
it to you too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
Pinjack and Zemdak are fine. Stay safe. Beware of the human. In Minheim traveling to Steercraig next. In Minheim traveling to Steercraig next, then home.
Yum ham. In ham. The minimum amount of ham.
That's the way we say it here.
how you know you're a
Minimum. Yeah, we going from min ham, eh?
Yeah, that's how you know you're old.
Nah, you're
Erky, Orin, Teres, Frug, Zemdak, Pinjack, and Lopnell.
You have a large family.
Gnomes off the board.
Dude, I thought you were suffering a stroke there for a split second when you were listing
Nope.
names.
It's like word salad. Great. You send that. Beware of the human. It's so vague. I love it. Beware of the human.
Oh god, I really hope I don't get separated from the group.
There's no other
and
humans
there,
Yeah.
looking for his family.
And Thulmore
Don't
Bet?
trust
Oh,
the
you mean in your area?
Down in the deep mines, there wouldn't be
Not
any
very
other humans
often.
down
Every once in a while, there's some.
except for the one that's like staying with them.
I really hope I don't get separated from the group and Thulmore Bed.
Well, that's just. I mean, there are many humans in Thulmore Bed. I mean, every
Yeah,
once in a while,
just-
there's the human miner that gets hired to do work.
My family lives in like the rural area outside the actual city.
I know.
Like we're way the F
And
out.
if I can't find you guys, and we're in Thulmore Bed, where would I go?
You also have to think about it in three-dimensional, in
Yeah.
three-dimensional
Yeah, we're-
too, because they're like down and off rather than just off. You know, which is. You okay?
All right?
They just a little cough.
Yeah, she's fine.
Great. So you send it to Erkin.
Everybody.
Erkin is, as you know, your father is a man of few words.
Nothing like a son.
Sent him a couple
Yeah.
times. He should know who I am. In general.
Good. Make sure it's not being a bother.
Too late.
Humans. Weird anyway. Knew that before you called. Don't know why you'd want to go there. That's it.
So, normally mining is a dwarven profession. It's not a gnomish profession. So my dad's weird. Just
So that's what makes your dad. I think your dad's just
I'm
weird
sorry.
because he's weird.
I've met you and your brother now. I understand that your dad's weird. You've also met my family, and you understand that it's just kind of weird.
I'm pretty sure
Everybody's weird.
you guys are
It's okay.
weird because you're gnomes.
Yes.
And
Oh,
the
that's
extra
racist.
weirdness.
That's fucking crazy. Also, your dad's been beaten into submission by the very strong will of your mother for many, many, many years.
So both of you have very controlling mothers. Good to know.
and a lot of time spent in the darkness in a mine, just
A very strong
picking
will
away at a wall.
raises a good kid.
I'm not denying that.
Yes. Husband might have the short stick of it, but the kid will benefit from it for sure. But anyway, yes. So
Humans are weird.
Humans are
humans
weird.
are like, humans weird. Knew that before you called.
Okay. Well,
he's
all we
like,
can do.
yeah. I didn't like the cut of his jib. Doesn't feel like they're gonna do much about it, just because it's not really a whole lot.
Can do. Yeah.
Your mother's most likely just being like, yeah, sure, I'm glad you know my kids, like, whatever, when you leaving?
You're right.
You know? You're like, it was probably okay for a couple days, and now she's like, all right, when are you leaving? She's like, oh, well, you know, my employers...
At a certain point, you're going to have to start paying for your own food.
yeah.
We're going to start charging you rent.
Oh, for sure. Like, after the 4th day, your mom,
Like, there's an extra pickaxe over there, you know.
yeah, there was a pickaxe and a contract on the table for him, being like, you can sign that, you can start
I
paying
can totally
rent.
see
like,
my family being that same way
Yeah.
too. Like
for sure.
after the first day, my folks would probably be all like, "Okay, so if you want to stay here any longer, it's going to cost you this much, or you need to work at the stall."
Your mom's a town guard.
Erky will show you what to do. Just, you know, get to
My
work.
dad,
Your dad is the merchant.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I could see one of them just straight up saying,
Okay,
"Hey, you need
so
to do this shit."
if nothing else, then
Are you wanting me?
Yeah, let's
I was
send one
gonna
off
send
to.
to Aerlin, but that's for Pernua.
What if something happens in the middle of the night? You know.
Right. That's
Like
what I'm worried
last
about.
night.
Should we?
Either send a Sofka, because we can always send to my family tomorrow to have Sofka check on my family.
unless you want to be at full strength to travel tomorrow. You're traveling tomorrow morning,
Right.
early in the morning.
Right.
It costs spell slots to do Sunday. That's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going into the Underdark. It is not safe in the Underdark.
Right. We're doing this before we're about to take our
Right.
rest.
I'm saying you said you could always do it tomorrow. I'm
Right.
saying unless you want to be at full strength.
Right.
Well,
Depending
not
on
in
what
the morning.
tomorrow takes, too.
Yeah, we do it tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like after your day's travel?
Yeah.
I understand. Well, that still doesn't mean anything because
Because, yeah, you're evil, but
I mean, I could do probably one more. It'd be okay. I could technically do 2 if I use my 4th level. But
yeah, let's be smart.
Maybe just the one. Save the big guns for if something really shitty happens in the middle of the night that we
Yeah.
don't expect.
When does that ever happen?
Why don't
No,
we
my
send
Last night.
my taking off the armor was just temporary to say a prayer. I'm not leaving it off.
And then if he says no, we can always
And
contact
I
him.
put it in my moss hide belt underneath my armor.
you got
Anything
you got. So
more
you're
you
attuned
want
to
to-
that now.
ask Sofka.
Does that give you a +1 to Constitution or +2 to Constitution? So make sure you change that in your character
He
sheet.
did it for
Okay,
How do we
cool.
train the rats
That
to
increases
be
your
the
maximum health too.
Oh, it does?
Yep.
Oh.
For every one because your Constitution modifier, every time that goes up by 1, your maximum health goes up by 1 for each level you have on your first.
Oh, so my
Do we remember what?
You got
maximum
that
hit
for
points
us.
should
The
be
D&D Beyond does it on next.
63?
His health going up?
No, I
I think
don't.
it did.
I don't remember
No,
what.
because it was
I
61
don't either.
last week.
Which is why I was gonna say it.
The moss hide belt gives him +2 to
Yeah,
Constitution.
and it did,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
it auto
Increased.
bumped his.
I think it's because you manually
Because
put
it's
in
set to
race.
manual?
Yeah. So make sure you do that for him. Cool. Yes, and of course, temporary. Yeah, having your armor off, it's fine. Being a heavy armor master,
I
you can
didn't have
sleep
to,
in your
right.
armor anyway. So
But I mean, it's if you're somewhere safe and you're comfortable, you're gonna sleep way better without it.
for you, because of the feet, it's not too much of a difference. Just because it's like a second skin for you.
Right.
For most others, it's uncomfortable.
Do you guys get the jets a lot out here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this is Buckley Air Force Base Air.
Yeah, I knew that. I just
Yeah, we get it a lot.
I don't think
Sometimes
I've
several
ever
days will go
heard
by
it.
when we don't, and then there'll be one day.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever heard it during.
I literally grew up in this area. I now don't live underneath this airspace. My wife constantly goes, "Oh, do you hear that?" And I'm all like, "Oh yeah, there is something there."
Right.
I don't.
I got your text message.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already in there.
Sorry, I just have it over here. It's in front. You got it. So,
we did it jump to 63.
No, so it
You
would
get-
have been at 55 beforehand.
and you should +7, so it should bring you to 62.
Yeah, so then it was at 54. Hang on, let's do this. Let's take it off. See if it drops.
Cool. You guys take care of that.
That
If
didn't
nothing
It
else,
doesn't.
then
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
gonna send to Cole's mother.
24 words.
okay.
I sent it to you.
You have never met his mother, so
But I've
No.
also sent.
He had sent to her before because I did the mirror
right. It
image.
doesn't.
Minor image.
Wait, and
Correct.
that whole weird dream thing.
Correct.
so
it doesn't.
sorry,
Just because you succeed on ascending, if you have not met them and you're not familiar, you still have to roll. You have to do it every
That's
time.
right, then.
You still have to do it. You have to do it every time. It doesn't.
Met
It doesn't,
ghost her.
it doesn't matter. Like
No, you're fine.
you have to do it every time. It's just granted, it's only a 5% chance that it's going to fail. It's a greater percent chance if you have more information. You have as much information as you're going to get short of meeting.
Okay, so he wants me to say, "Be careful, being watched. You are hostile."
You know her name?
Yes. It's been a while since I've told him her name, though. Oh, yeah.
Do you know what you
mentioned
rolled
25.
for your HP in the past?
I'll tell you.
I don't know.
So
I don't
I
need to say her
got
name.
2 additional
Yeah, it just helps to know her
rolls.
name.
Yeah.
So
Then I
be
bumped
careful,
up to
being
level
watched.
7.
You are hostages. Flee
But
if
I
you
don't,
can.
but I
Just
forget what
three
I
of you.
rolled, but I
Only
rolled
trust
it
the
and I
half-elf
added
with
it to
mini
what I
rats.
had.
You were at
Please
61
trust the
before.
half elf with mini
No,
rats.
not
Okay.
before the rolls, no.
No, I mean
Point of
for
order.
the belt.
Mm-hmm.
You were at 61.
Yep.
Okay.
Sofka, you know, is most likely in
Right.
Kimisk. Lashma is. I understand, but
Depending on how Sofka leaves Kamis, she could go either way.
right,
So
you're
63?
covering all your bases. I
Yeah.
understand.
No, you'd be at.
Only trust the half elf with many
68.
rats. That's so specific and
You get 1
it's so
point for
precise.
that.
I love it.
Constitution, right? You get 1 point of
Well, because we were talking
per
about
level.
sending Sofka
So you would
anyway,
have 7
so...
more. So you should be at 68.
Okay.
So I'll fix that.
You guys figured it out?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. 68. Chonky boy. Yeah. Love
That's
it.
what I need.
I think you've got the most HP of the group now.
Which
Finally.
makes sense.
Start off with the lowest.
As it should be, at being the biggest, because you're the tank, you're the paladin. Great. Meat shield. All right, cool. So you send that message to mom.
Well, he sends that message.
Mom is, mom. Mom is
We've also.
often no nonsense. Her job is being a town guard, and she's really good at it. Her being no nonsense makes sense as to why it was difficult to raise you because you were full of nonsense.
Sounds very similar to real life.
So you hear back. Did you ever say, "I am"?
We've had multiple things because she thought she was insane.
Yeah, I
There
remember
was a-
she mentioned that my grandfather had gone mad.
Right. Right. Oh, that's another thing.
We already talked to her about how
There's layers within layers. Okay,
this is real.
cool. So you sent it to her. She responds back. This is what you hear. You said that he was safe, right?
I didn't say
Cole
a word about Cole.
No, Cole was not mentioned.
Yeah.
Just about the person that they're with. Try to get away. Trust the half.
Yeah.
Don't trust that.
No, trust the health off with many rats.
With many rats.
Only trust them.
No, so hit inventory.
The individual here. I'm sorry. The individual here
Control bell.
owns the controlling shares
Attune it for you.
of my husband's stall. If we leave, we lose our business. But I will have to think on it. Rats?
Emrys owns the shares of your dad's stall.
Not difficult to do.
No, but
With somebody with money could easily go to the
Yeah.
quartermaster of like the town and just be like, "Hey, I want to buy this stall, this stall, this stall, controlling interest in this, 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 and this," and they can
considering we're a permanent stall, we're not some.
because they can just buy rights to the land under the stall,
Yeah, exactly.
and then they just own it. And that's
If you're
it.
renting, if you didn't own this.
Yeah, well, because you can't control land, you have to pay the fees for the land that you're setting up your stall on.
Yeah.
Whereas,
You can
Well,
watch them and make
someone
them-
else can.
He's
that's
much more
public.
controlling them.
It's
I need to
public
be able
land,
to-
but you
I've
can
gotta
own
figure out
shares.
a way for myself to communicate to them subtly.
So
to understand that staying's not going to make it any better.
yeah. So I mean, you're the more and more you communicate with like all of your families, like you realize just how egregiously planned out these people do things. The whether it be the conclave or Emrys themselves, like these people don't do anything in half measures. If they're doing something,
He
they've
did
got
his research. He found out what my family did. He found out how
Exactly.
he could control them.
he was like, how can I
Pretty
make
sure
sure
he did
I
it
have
quick. That was
near
not-
100% leverage over anything that could possibly happen?
Well, no.
And he did it.
Well, that's quick from when we had our meeting with Emrys. He probably put all of this in place before we had that meeting.
Well, he
so
probably
already
put most of
controlled
this in
that.
place when he identified us.
That too, or at least started to put it in place. And that's the thing, guys. When you're dealing with somebody with nigh unlimited resources,
Yeah.
Well, in the first time we interacted with him, I told him flat out who I was. He's always known who I am.
Yeah.
and I mean, he's definitely going to cover his bases when it comes to the thing that's giving him the leverage over you guys, so you do the thing he wants to do.
Right.
I feel like his good faith for my family was because we're the hardest to control because they're used to up and leaving.
That very well may be.
They're like, okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
I will drop everything and go.
They're also the first ones we got to.
True.
Anyways, we don't have much to do until the caravan leaves in the morning, so
Unless you can go spread some spores somewhere.
And spread some spores.
we met this mushroom fella,
Okay.
and I traded the spreading of his colony for some health potions.
Why don't we just grow them and then we have food?
I mean,
Because they're also kind of him. Like, they're aware. So
What's your point?
We did
it would be like you growing an arm and us chopping it off every time and, like, cooking it.
He did eat his own eyeball.
I understand that I understand that this might be acceptable to you.
right.
Many beings don't enjoy eating their own flesh.
Well, but it would be the mushroom.
But
Eating the mushroom flesh.
he would know that we're harvesting him to eat.
Well, what's he going to do about it?
Log made an agreement.
Infect you with his spores
Log
and take
made
over
an
your entire
agreement.
body.
What if
What if we cooked him first?
Then you'd still be ingesting his spores, and you don't know if it could still take over your entire body.
And then he
all
just walks
mushrooms,
away
though,
like
right?
Log is not going to listen to me.
If we get the chance and you want to eat some of him, by all means, go for it.
I'm saying just free food.
Syndex, what are you doing?
He's had so much free food that it's not something.
No, we
that
gotta pay
do.
for that food.
Oh, I can create magical food, and Trishani can create good berries. We have plenty of ways to eat. We don't need to harvest.
It is an alchemist, so it could potentially make you drugs. But if you make it mad by eating it, it may not make you drugs.
Now you're speaking log. Yeah, there you go. You were like, If I
What
were
argument
log,
can
what
I
do value? I love that.
So we grow another him to make us drugs.
Correct.
Right. We could have a little like mobile cart guy. You know the.
Everywhere we grow one of him, he could potentially make you drugs at that spot.
Plus, then we keep what we're going with us.
Yes. Every time we find a lot of dead things, I can spread spores on it.
We have to keep it with us so that he grows enough to make us drugs.
Sure. We also have to give him the ingredients for the drugs, but
So did you buy drugs?
I bought an alchemist, a traveling alchemist. I bought a grow your own alchemist.
Okay. And you're sure we can't eat him?
If you eat him, you'll make him angry, and he won't make you drugs.
No drugs.
Or he may say he'll make you drugs, but he'll make you bad drugs.
Right.
He will make you drugs.
Yeah, he'll turn you into drugs. There was this whole thing with his spores, and he just went, you're all infected. So he could also be a dangerous person to make upset.
Wait, so you have brain shit again?
He could talk to our minds like you guys can do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he talks to our heads because of his eye worms, so I'm a little afraid of making him.
Right.
We'll hold off on eating him until
Well, we talk
until
about
later.
Do you know how many times
just
you can
take
use
a
that?
closer look at it.
As
Like-
many times as I want to.
Do you want to use a little bit on the cellar as we get out of town tomorrow?
Bloodshot eyes, actually.
Is there anything
That,
edible down there?
that biomass that we left that's
So, like,
down there from the massacre, right?
Oh, you mean
Yeah, from
That is a shit ton of biomass. If it's still there.
I was gonna say, if
Very fitting.
the magical item guy had boots from down
right,
there,
then probably somebody went.
I would
there.
not want to go back just in case somebody's watching it.
No. He had boots from
The door cannon.
The
right.
door
the door cannon rise, so most likely
It wouldn't have been from there.
it would have been from where the battle happened and out the outskirts.
It'd be a really easy way to
Shades
get rid of
boots
those.
or
It
shadows?
could have been.
boots?
It could have been like one from Shade and one from Shadow.
It could also have been like from a pair from the two that we left in the hostel with all the corpses.
Could
We
have
didn't do
been
anything with that. We just
Yeah,
left.
yeah. It could have been from several different locations. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been from there.
That's what you were talking
because
about,
those
right?
are two
The
bodies.
basement
Exactly.
with the dead Elistrehi cultists,
Right. Yes.
which that's where the door cannon rye body was.
cultists.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're gonna call them cultists.
Just
Just do it.
Caladoran Smoothhand.
they were a secretive sect of a religion. They are a cult.
You're a cultist too, then I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah. By definition.
Cult's not necessarily a bad word.
No.
What you know?
Yeah.
Then you
Once
just
it's fruit punch involved.
Cults just tend to go bad
Yeah.
more than
Anyway,
public. Yes. So
Mainstream,
going
it's religion.
going down to that basement is probably a bad idea.
Thing.
so
I don't know of any other, unless I mean,
We don't need to go
large
to see
concentrations of dead things.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure we'll kill lots of things along the way.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Like,
And we can leave behind some spores when we're done with it.
right.
If we kill another worm, that's a huge colony for Mushroom Man.
Right.
So, if nothing else, then Are you guys ready to?
I would go outside and I'm gonna put up my hut because I like my hut to sleep in.
Okay.
And if Log, are you coming inside the hut?
Are you going to make your own hut?
Ankyline
Or are you gonna
move.
make your own hut?
Yeah, probably
I mean, like from where you're standing when he was
Yes.
talking to you guys.
Before I do
Was
that,
he like
in case
rooted
there's
in
a fire.
place?
You didn't see
Before I-
him
Before I split from Log,
have like
I'm gonna
roots.
put
Well,
into, like, fortress
fungal-
on Log.
They don't really have roots. It's complicated. But
Mycelium.
yeah, mycelium. Yeah. It's like
It's still
but
roots.
it's not like how plants have roots. But yes. But yeah, no. It didn't look. He didn't look like he moved, but you didn't see any evidence of it. Like
he didn't
their
take a
feet
step.
growing into. No, they didn't take a step. But you also didn't see their feet. Any like physicality of their feet growing into the stone of cenote either.
Okay.
They just didn't see a need to move.
Okay.
As far as you can tell.
Before
So he reanimated a Triton's body.
Yeah.
So maybe giving him the body of a purple worm might not be the smartest idea. Probably stick to
Unless you
smaller
want him
things.
to.
maybe we can give him that little dragon thing that came after the purple.
Yeah. In the future.
Oh, the amphitheaters?
Yeah.
Possibly.
See what we run
Yeah, they're
into. You never know.
scavengers that
Right.
sometimes follow them.
Just
pick up the bits and pieces.
just remind me if I'm about to like spread his spores on something big and super powerful that it might not be the greatest idea. Just remind me, please, because
Or it could be awesome.
that would probably be
Says
my
the murderous
original thought.
Yeah.
Granted, you would
But
be
that's allies.
technically acquaintances with this new platform.
Yes.
So
I mean, I assume that they might like us because we're giving
Correct.
them all this power.
Right.
They also
ride a
might get
purple
this
worm.
hugely powerful
Exactly.
being
That's
look at
exactly
us
what I
and
was
go,
thinking.
But about the only
now I can have you.
benefit we would get is
oh,
like
because your
potion.
biomass.
Yeah. Well, no, we put it in this giant being and
Yeah, I
looks at it and
understand.
goes, oh, I can eat you now.
Well, it wouldn't eat you. It would just want to
But yeah.
put your biome. But he did specifically say, "Hey, I would appreciate it if you didn't spread my spores like onto individuals that were still using their biomass."
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's not necessarily a killer.
He doesn't appear to be malevolent,
It's just clean up.
Here too.
or they don't appear to be malevolent.
Yeah. Up. In
But I mean,
instead of
yes,
they don't
we could
appear
make
to be
him-
malevolent.
Could make him feel indebted to us, but all we would get out of it is more potions. I think.
Or drugs.
Not a bad idea.
Yes, drugs. Alchemical,
Not entirely a bad thing.
which isn't bad. Just
No.
limited value.
Are you doing the hunt? Am I doing the hunt?
We're both doing the huts.
Well, anyway, I gotta try it. Make sure it works.
Okay. Cool. You
But
wanna?
before we separate, you know, and if you're casting it, I'll go with you. But I'm still going to cast intellect.
Okay.
focus on you.
Perfect. Real quick. Cool. Great. You do that, which gives you advantage on your sleep thing. Okay. Cool. Here's the thing, though. And Zemdek, I assume you're casting Identify on the potions that you get, right? Because you have plenty enough time to cast them ritually.
Yep.
Okay. So you have 3, right? Water breathing. You understand. Water breathing is pretty simple. You have the ability to breathe water for 8 hours.
Okay.
Boom. 8 hours straight. You get water breathing. Rapport spores. Rapport spores gives you the ability to, when you drink the potion, you gain the ability rapport spores, which is my version of the ability. Is for 8 hours you gain the ability called rapport spores. As an action, you can designate any amount of creatures within 30 feet of you to create to spread your spores to create a psychic link with them. That psychic link goes up to 150 feet away, and you can communicate with all of them, or any one of them, or any permutation of them simultaneously with those. And you can do that for 1 hour, and you have to re-up it after that hour. Make sense?
Yep.
So you have the ability to, as an action, within 30 feet, telepathically connect yourself with spores for 1 hour.
I mean, you can literally drink this, go into a crowded theater, yell fire, and have some fun with it that way too.
Any amount of creatures that are within 30 feet of you, you can connect to, and you can choose which ones you want to and which ones you don't want to.
Okay.
And then as soon as you establish that connection, it only lasts for an hour, and then you can do it in. But you have the ability to do so for 8 hours.
Okay.
What's the superior dark vision?
Yep.
Superior dark vision. You have dark vision for 120 feet for 24 hours.
Okay.
Does it pierce magical darkness?
It does not.
Okay.
It's just superior dark vision. So 120 feet.
So Lahg has
You get 120 feet for 24 hours, which is decent. Yep. For a cigar, not bad.
Yeah,
Right.
very, very good.
it's almost as good as trading in a mechanical arm for a workforge.
So, you're both ripping up your nose?
Actually, I'm not putting mine up. If he's putting his up,
Okay.
I am going to put intellect fortress on him before both of us pass out.
Perfect.
All right. And I will,
And I have officially become Lahg's babysitter.
and I'll give everybody good berries one more time before we go to bed.
I'm trying to.
So, Lahg, you ritually cast the tiny hut. And I want to describe what it looks like when you cast this spell. You know those slow motion videos? So you feel like you ritually cast it and you set out your book, and your book, like every once in a while it kind of moves and you see like some of like the teeth / claws of it. Sometimes it like tries to like dig into the wall and like try to like crawl away. And you're like, no. And you like pull it back. And you bring it back to the center of the circle. And you're like, no, stay there. It's like, and you do your ritual, you light your candles, or however you want to do it. You can describe it however you like if you'd like to. But eventually, at the end of the ritual, it's very similar to those slow motion videos when you see a water balloon filled with dyed liquid, like splash upon something. But imagine that splashing upon like an invisible half dome, like hemisphere sphere, as this black paint ichor like stuff just splashes upon an invisible dome that is over you and has that fluid dynamic splash thing, and then drips and drapes across it until it becomes the opaque color of your choice.
Trying to make it look like one of the moons, like in a blood moon, kind of like dark.
Cool. So at first it was this like inky black splash, and then as it starts to drip down along the sides, it turns to like a midnight blue, to a darker gray, to a lighter gray, to a much lighter gray, until it has a bit of like almost like a luminous illusory like optical illusion to it, where it has like more white in the center and more like gray on the edges. You can't make it too complicated, but I'll say like there's crater here and there.
Yeah.
Make it look like there's a small moon just sitting there.
This looks like a moon on the horizon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except not orange, like white. Or whatever color you want it to be.
It'll be whatever the actual moon's doing.
Yeah.
I could totally see you doing it that way.
But the liquid that dripped down was like, it was mellifluous. Like honey and ichor.
Goopy.
Yeah. Whereas you like traditionally cast it, and you just like go shwawing, and it's there, and it just goes like
It only takes me 10 minutes.
11. One more.
whatever.
That's all the difference in whatever.
Wait, why does it only take you 10 minutes?
Because I only ritually cast it just regularly. It's the special ability for him.
It's still the same.
What's the casting time for top?
It's
If it's 1 minute, then it's 11 minutes for you too. Anytime you ritually cast something, it adds 10 minutes to the casting
You're right.
time.
So I did 11, yeah.
Yeah. So, great. You set up the dome. And you have your dome. And then I assume at this point everybody's going to bed.
Yes.
I will be outside with these guys and then eventually just kind of like crawl into the dome. But I will be like, until typically I'd be writing or like reading until I sleep, but I'll be just staring off into the moonlight as it's trickling down through one of the holes, just trying again to kind of capture that moment.
Are you kind of like staring at the opening to the outside and watching the sun go down?
You kind of like can
Watching.
barely see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to hold on to this moment for the next few months, basically.
Oh, baby.
And I'll pass out.
Yeah. Just taking a mental image capture.
Yeah, because we had talked about last time, I was trying to start thinking about literally capturing a moment in time. So I'll continue to try to do that too if I can. But
Yes.
We are
Um, Granted, I don't know if you guys remember, but you were able, if I were not mistaken, you were able to analyze one of the daylight orbs to possibly give yourselves.
I still have to like make something.
You're gonna have to figure out how to make it. But now that you have a mobile workshop, you could work. And granted, remember how that works. When you're traveling, you're spending all of your energy traveling. By the
once
time
every
it's
3
ready to
days.
bed down, you're already pretty exhausted.
Yeah.
A work day requires 8 hours. So I mean, you could do a couple things, but
like on the Oregon Trail in a game where they were all like, you need to fix this, so you need to take a day where you're not traveling.
exactly
Right.
because I mean, when you're by the time when people say, okay, it's time to make up camp for traveling, the people are like, oh my god, thank God. Like, because you're all exhausted from traveling.
Yeah. How do you feel after you road trip all day?
Or go on like a 10-mile hike. Feels it's time to go to bed. All right, so you guys rest up. Are you sleeping in Argus's parents' room?
Yeah.
Wait, okay, good. It's the bed's perfect for you to sleep the wrong way.
Okay.
Across instead.
Yeah, across rather than
So you're getting into bed, you're seeing like the head of the footboard sitting on either side of you.
Yeah,
as you're
yeah.
like laying down across, like
Yeah,
pulling
exactly.
pillows over to read.
So, Cole, you're in the hut. You're in the hut. You're in the hut. Zemdak, you can easily take one of the beds up.
He already said he was sleeping in his own room, even though his bed's not there.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
I
Yeah.
curl up
Sleeping
near
is
the
district.
forge where it's still warm.
Okay, cool. And Pernua just Ermgrim will like, sleep next to you, not like give you some
I'm
space.
gonna set like Conk right in the doorway
Okay.
to the house.
Okay.
And Pernua as well, too. She can be on.
Yeah,
watch.
Pernua is, just sitting in one of the chairs just
Keeping an eye out the window.
like whittling some of the char marks off of her lance and her spear.
yeah, Shakar can hang out too outside the dome and just kind of keep
Cool.
an eye on it.
And Twiggle.
Great. You guys are in the middle of a city. You guys don't need to do, at the moment. You guys don't need to really roll for watches, and you have three creatures that are watching. If something's going to happen, unless it's a Dorkan and Rye, they're gonna spot.
Yay.
So
Okay, so who wants to be on watch for the Dorkan and Rye?
I'm not gonna make you roll for that. You're gonna roll your sleep thing.
But I've got advantage because of
Intellect
like,
focus.
got some new dice. We'll see.
I took this spell with you in mind, Lahg.
Is he? Is it a?
Okay, good.
Oh, he's okay. Sounds like.
It's not a saving throw. Is it a saving throw?
Yeah, it's a saving throw.
It is a saving throw. So
Is he within 10 feet of me?
no,
Because now if I went
he's outside.
He's
You're
outside, inside of a dome that's 10 feet wide.
But
And it
you
only
still get the
works-
advantage.
and
So.
it only works while you're conscious.
Oh, that's right. That's
Ah.
right. Okay.
Interesting.
I guess that makes sense.
So that's a dirty 20.
Specifically says a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Oh, a dirty 20. Okay, cool. Amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the one.
Are you gonna add stuff now?
Yeah. Let me grab.
Oh. the tail.
The cat and the cat butt
Right, that's really funny.
is the 20 in the one.
What dice?
It's like called Crystal Maggie or something like that. I saw like
That's still really funny.
everything was on and
I'll
the
get
pack on
that on
Amazon. Like I need to find a different
Thank you, sir.
supplier
Yeah,
or something
that's
that
really
works.
funny.
Okay. Well, your past perception is 19.
Yep.
You
Hard
wake up
is too.
before he does. Just because you were just light sleeping tonight, probably just a little paranoid from everything that's happened, and especially since you heard about what's going on with your parents. You notice that he is night sweats, especially with the bugbear fur and everything, because you don't maintain your illusion while you're sleeping. I don't think.
No, I mean, it only lasts for an hour anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And you see him moving about. While you're witnessing him doing this throughout the night, while you're sleeping, you dream. And you dream. It's odd. It's unfamiliar. It's like being in somebody else's shoes, far away. You don't really recognizing it too much. You are on the prowl, search for hunting for something, but it's not meat like animals. It's the pulsing of a beating heart. It's the smell of iron. It's just so strong. You see yourself stalking, your vision and your ears and your sight. Everything is just turned up to 11. And you just kind of feel that distortion where the edges of your vision are stretched. And you just hear in your ears of just the sound of a pulse so very strong. And you see, as you look up, like as this head turns that's not familiar to you and you can only see through its eyes, you look up and you see the sun of something casting in through this like hole in the earth that isn't making contact and isn't casting sunlight into a whole part of a large amount of buildings that are under this overhang. And you look up and you see part of it, and the light doesn't hit you, but you still cower away from it, and you slink off. You don't appear to be in control of any of this movements. It's almost you're like your observer. You're in the passenger seat of whatever's happening here. You sense a sense of camaraderie with some of these other creatures, humanoids around you. You don't really get faces as much as just figures. You get the sense that you're all on a hunt together. You find your way into some dilapidated building, and something goes wrong, and whatever you're hunting gets the jump on you. You feel shock. And then you feel like you don't have control over a large portion of like this part of your body, and you look down and you just see a bunch of blood, and you see this creature pulling out tendons of your body. Your vision goes blurry, and then it comes back with a bunch of these comrades that were joining in the hunt, not looking at you with pity. And then all of them kind of look at each other and with stern, icy determination nod as blades come down in your direction from them. You dash out of the way. Your wound's completely gone now. Don't know where they went, but they're completely gone. You feel you no longer hear the pulse of that intense coming from within, like adrenaline. You hear theirs. And you hear... and you just feel like, I need that. I need that right now. You rush, you duck, and you dash towards them. You pull their neck aside. You pull their shoulder aside. You raise your head, open your mouth. Lahg awakes, his eyes bloodshot, and comes at you. His teeth, bugbear teeth, at you straight to your neck. Please roll an attack on Cole.
This was on a success.
Lahg, what the fuck are you doing?
Cutting work.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I believe is a...
I don't know that it's so much a success as it is a random table of consequences.
Would this just be an unarmed strike?
Yes.
Which would not add my proficiency, or does it?
Well, I'm gonna say with this it does because it has some.
Yeah, it does.
They get 5 off of whatever
technically,
roll.
according to the errata that Tasha's put in there, all creatures are proficient on armed strikes.
Yeah.
So yes, proficiency plus strength.
Yes.
So I rolled a 5, plus 5, minus 5.
Yes.
So it's full on 0.
Oh, no, so just
Just
five.
5.
Just 5.
Oh, just 5.
Yeah,
Plus 5 minus
plus
5.
5, yeah.
So 5. That doesn't hit you. So this is what happens: that you grab his shoulder and like the scruff of his beard and like pull his head sideways. You're like, Lahg, what the fuck are you doing? And he just full on, just very twink style, slaps you in the face and just scuttles back, which kind of like gets you to have like wakes you up and brings you back. But you still have that just this tiny bit. You realize what you did. You're completely in control of your agency now, but you're entirely aware of what just happened once you woke up, ish. But you still have just a tinge of that bloodlust. And for the next 24 hours, you can cast the spell Vampiric Touch on yourself at will. And you regain, and it does 1d6 extra damage, and you regain health for however much damage you do.
Wow. 24 hours.
Yes.
As many times as you want.
At will. It is.
Yeah.
It becomes an innate spell for you for the next 24 hours.
So now that you're backed up, I've totally got my hand drawn on you, Lahg, going, dude, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck, Lahg? You were having a dream, you just fucking attacked me. What the fuck? I've got my hand just straight up zeroed on you.
I'm sorry that you're right. There was a dream. You didn't have it. You didn't see it.
No.
I come running
I thought your
outside.
teeth.
Did I miss a moon?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the tent with you guys.
Yeah, you're in the tent. I don't know if you
Where are you? You're not in the tent.
No, I said
You're
I
not
came
in the
running
tent, which-
outside.
It depends on whether or not he gave
Well,
you agency
did you wake
in
up?
the tent. Yeah,
In the
that
morning.
thing passed through.
Oh, right, because this is happening right at the end of the morning.
You
Right.
said it was morning and
Yeah.
he woke up.
This is happening
so-
right at the end of your dream because it's like the end of your dream is coalescing into like its conclusion, and because you just woke up. Yeah,
So I come running outside to see if there was a moon that I could get something off of.
there is no moon.
That's
I go sulking back inside.
But just that.
No, you just-
and you start to see, you start to hear everyone like that is around you. You can hear their pulse, like from their carotid artery and from their heart, all around you.
That flag guy, it was only your blood he took, right?
Yeah.
why.
You all sound very good right now.
Do me a favor. Roll me a history check after what you witnessed. Well, actually, I'm not going to say anything yet because you're going to have to.
You got it. Yeah.
Am I rolling or not rolling?
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, because you would have to like talk about it for it to be like something.
Oh, which does I did mean to ask you. Can I roll a history to see if I recognize Vlad since he mentioned Loshma? Because remember when he bit me, he talked about that he could taste Loshma in my blood.
Sure. You mean like as like a folk tale? If you've heard anything?
Yeah, just that's all I'm saying.
Sure. You can roll a history check if you like.
Vlad the Impaler of Loshma.
Yeah, folklore, myth kind of thing.
Sure.
Terrorizing the area. It was kind of what I was thinking. Of course, I suck at this. 11. Not a damn thing. Yeah, it was all like, yeah, okay.
Lad of historical record comes to mind.
And I was dreaming and I was hunting something and I was hunting. It got me. But then I was awake again. But it wasn't me. It was whatever was doing the hunting and everyone else, they tried to kill me. But it wasn't me. It was someone else.
Lahg, the next time you try and eat me, I'm gonna try and kill you.
I didn't know it was you. I didn't know it
Doesn't
was
matter
me.
to me.
But I mean,
I'm not gonna let you just chew on me because you don't realize it's me.
well, that's fair. You all sound kind of delicious right now.
Maybe you stay like a little bit back.
I know you don't look delicious, but just
Yeah, it's like it's very small. It's on the back of your head. You could be like
I could eat
kind of
you
like
guys
a
right
bit of a morbid curiosity. Be like,
now. Wonder what you taste like.
yeah.
Interesting.
you know, you have high blood pressure at the moment. It might just be what just happened.
I wonder why.
But
It's not like somebody just tried to vent me of my blood.
I mean, you might like it. You never know.
It was okay when Vlad did it. I don't really want more.
that was only okay because you had no choice.
During this whole thing, Moonchild has interposed themselves between you and Cole, just because Moonchild is there to protect you, right? Moonchild is Moonchild just like look like, just like don't, dude.
It's okay. It's okay. I went after enemies.
They calm down.
I'll make a skillet of forge eggs. Like,
You make a skillet of forge eggs.
put my cast iron pan on top of the coals,
Yeah, it's like-
the embers.
Got plasma and stuff as Ermgrim wakes up.
That magic coffee going.
No, I mean like the coals
Yeah,
from the forge are probably
probably.
still warm enough that I
Yes,
could
yes.
cook on top. of
Okay.
What time do we have to leave this morning?
Here's what I'm gonna
like-
say.
it. Some mushroom scrambled eggs.
Guys, it's first light.
First light. Okay.
It's time to go.
And it's the 24th, correct? So
Somebody roll for
Somebody roll
Yes.
for the
would you like to
heart.
roll for the heart?
Sure. You haven't rolled for the heart for
And we're going to
everything.
roll for the heart next episode, guys. This is where we're going to take our break. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the live stream. If you watch this episodically, head over to the next episode. Thank you so much. And as always, stay safe out there. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.